Hi, gang. Bob Boving for the Mystery Project. Tonight, we open a file that comes to you in 6 installments. The title is The Joke About Hilary Spite. There's not much laughter for Hilary, a young woman who's having trouble dealing with both life and death, her own. The Joke About Hilary Spite by Christopher Bidmead stars Angela Pleasance, who is more talked at than talking for the first little while of episode 1.
Oh, Mr. Reese.
Huh?
Oh, Mr. Reese, are you busy?
A houseman's work is never done, matron.
Well, be that as it may, there's something you can do for me, if you wouldn't mind.
The Dramatic Society?
One of my patients. She's being discharged this morning, and I'm rather worried about her.
Oh, is she being troublesome?
Oh, quite the reverse. She hardly says a word.
What?
There doesn't seem to be anybody coming to collect her.
Oh, should there be?
She's an attempted.
Oh, I see.
Come over to the ward door. You can see her through the glass. She's dressed and ready to leave.
Oh, yeah. Pretty girl. Strange face. Red hair like a pre-Raphaelite refugee. What's she looking so fed up about?
She's been here for 2 weeks, and the expression on her face has hardly changed once.
Why 2 weeks in surgical?
There were bad lesions on her wrists.
Has Wormald seen her? Suicides are right up his psychiatric street.
Not yet. She has an appointment with him now on her way out. I can't really spare a nurse to take her over there.
And you'd like me to ferry her along to the psyche unit for you?
Well, if you would.
So it's locuming for nurses now.
I thought you'd jump at the idea of escorting a pretty young girl like that, if what I hear from my nurses is true.
Matron, that is not a pretty young girl. That is a case. Cases are not fair game.
And my overworked nurses are, I suppose. Well, you'd better come through and have a word with the case. You might be able to cheer her up.
Who did the stitching?
Mr. Gathercole.
Oh, that was lucky. He's very nifty with the needlework. Where did they find her?
In a furnished flat, somewhere local. Apparently she was someone one ought to have heard of. There was a bit about it in the paper.
Oh, you read the papers, matron. I never have time for anything but my work.
That's not what my nurses tell me. The complaints I hear of thee are grievous.
Blood, my lord, they are false. Henry IV, Part 2.
Part 1.
Do you mind if I have a look at her chart, matron?
No.
Seems to be all right. How do the wrists feel this morning, Hilary? Bit itchy? Just hold your hands out in front of you, palms up. That's it. Stretch your fingers out. Can you feel that? Good, good. You sure about that, matron? I could have sworn it was Part 2. Well, that seems all right.
She feels perfectly all right, don't you, Hilary?
Have you got enough money for your fare home?
She didn't have a handbag when she reached casualty. Perhaps you'd better see the armament.
Dr. Wormald will settle that, I expect. Yes. Well, if you'd like to come along with me, Hilary, I'll take you to Dr. Wormald. He wants a short chat with you before you go.
She saw him the year before last. Oh, perhaps you take this card along, Mr. Reese, and this note for Mr. Gathercole.
Yes, of course, matron.
And I bet I'm right about that quotation.
All right, you're on. Come on, Hilary. Follow me. And for heaven's sake, smile. Hello, nurse. All alone? I brought you a customer. You can come in, Hilary. There's a nice nurse here. She'll look after you.
Dr. Wormald's writing out a report, but he's expecting you. I'll let him know you're here. The surgical discharge is here, Dr. Wormald.
Thank you, Brenda. 2 minutes.
He won't keep you a moment.
Well, I'll trot back to geriatrics. Oh, by the way, Brenda, you don't happen to know which part of Henry IV has the rejection scene, do you? The scene where Falstaff pretends to be Prince Hal? No? Oh, well, it was just a thought.
Part 1, Act 2.
What?
It's in Act 2 of Henry IV, Part 1.
Oh, is it? Well, the old bag was right then. Thank you, Hilary. Yes, well, I must get off to geriatrics. I might see you when the trolley comes round, Brenda. Henry IV, Part 1, eh? Thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't think he'll keep you long, Miss Spite. I'm sorry. Spite. It's pronounced Spite. It's spelled S-P-E-I-G-H-T. That's usually pronounced Spate, isn't it? I thought it was.
It's Spite.
I don't think he'll keep you long.
What does he want?
I expect he wants to help you.
Oh, really? What does it say in the note?
I don't know. It's in a sealed envelope.
Why the secrecy?
It's quite usual for consultants to seal their notes.
And what does it say on the green card?
It's a pharmaceutical record. And I expect the note is about your surgical treatment. You have come from the surgical ward, haven't you?
They put stitches in my wrists.
Yes. Well, that's what the note will be about.
Is this the psychiatric unit?
That's right. It isn't a proper unit. There's just Dr. Wormold and a duty nurse. Me. It's only open about twice a week. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, actually. I expect you'll like Dr. Wormold. He's very pleasant.
I've been to see him before. I don't.
He won't bite you. He's quite harmless.
So are you. But I don't like you either.
Jolly good.
Now then, what's next? Hello. Card, please, Brenda.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, is there a note?
Yes.
Yes. Jolly good. Right, Hilary. Would you like to trot in? Let's have a chat and see what we can do for you. Well, here we are again. You've been rather a naughty girl since we last met, Hilary. St. Luke's, wasn't it? The year before last. That was your third go, according to what you told me then. And now this one. Oh, dear. I thought we'd more or less straightened things out last time we met. You seemed quite keen on the computer job we fixed up for you. Your cup of tea. What happened to that, eh? You got bored with it once you'd finished the training. And one day you just stayed at home in bed. I hear you were doing jolly well, too. It's all such a waste, don't you think? Where did all this happen? Now, you talked to Gathercole, but you won't talk to me, eh? Well, listen, Hilary. I'm fairly interested in your case, but only fairly. I'm a busy man, and my time is valuable. If this were a private consultation, perhaps you'd appreciate just how valuable. I see that amuses you. Yes, well, I'm going to give you a prescription for some tablets to take when you feel yourself becoming depressed. Take 2, 3 if necessary. More than that will just make you sick. Here you are. And my card. If you feel like talking to me, you can telephone. I'm sorry I can't be more useful to you. No, not that door. This one takes you straight out into the corridor. You can find your own way out of the building, I'm sure. In the meantime, don't do anything I wouldn't do. And Hilary, goodbye. A nurse, will you get me an outside line, please?
For you, Mr. Beresford. You're expecting his call.
Take it over the intercom. Thank you, Jean.
Go ahead, please, Dr. Wormold.
Barry? Hello? Beresford, are you there? I said, Barry, can you hear me?
Hello, Wormold. Good of you to ring.
No, I just rang to tell you she's leaving now.
Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry, this is a very bad line. I can hear somebody playing a banjo.
It's not a banjo, Wormold. It's a harpsichord, my harpsichord. I am playing the harpsichord.
Look.
How is the patient? Well, I trust?
Yes, she's very fit.
And what sort of condition is she in mentally?
Well, briefly, she's a schizoid type. Some paranoia, but that's not fundamental. Bags of dry.
Which is entirely unchanneled. Look here, Wormold, we already established that. You must know more by now.
Well, it's difficult to get a proper assessment of her. She won't talk. Well, not to me, anyway. She talked a bit to the surgical consultant. A closer correspondence with her paternal archetype than in my own case, I shouldn't wonder. He says the patient has delusions that she's being followed everywhere she goes. That's quite common in paranoia, of course.
She's quite right. She is being followed.
Is that a fact? But these cases are usually so wrapped up in themselves that they have no proper awareness of reality. So either your man's an amateur or this girl's unusually observant.
It strikes me, Wormald, that I know more about your patient than you do. Of course she's unusually observant. That's one of the reasons we're so anxious to meet her. One last question, Wormald.
Oh, please, don't keep doing that. You're driving me mad.
Physician, heal thyself. Do you think she might try again? To kill herself?
Oh, after herself, yes. She's not a fake, seeking sympathy. I think she'd probably succeed next time, too. That's the only thing that makes me feel at all comfortable about turning her over to you. There might be some therapeutic value in her doing this job for you, whatever it is.
Job?
Well, I presume your interest in her isn't purely philanthropic?
You're guessing, Wormald. By the way, what was that remark you made earlier about a paternal archetype?
Her father figure. Her father's dead, you know that. Apparently she was very fond of it.
Yes, thank you for reminding me of that. It might be useful.
Yes, well, I don't think there's anything else I can usefully tell you.
Yes, I'm sure you're right. Thank you for your time.
Cheerio, then. Oh, and Beresford. Do me one favour, old boy. Don't drag me into this anymore.
Not any more than I can help.
Jolly good, jolly good.
Jolly good.
Excuse me, can you tell me the quickest way out of... Oh, it's you again.
Me again. And that's you again. How was Dr. Wormald?
Since you ask, I'd say he was sickening for something. Is this the right way?
You certainly are in a hurry to get out, aren't you?
I can't breathe in here.
My name's Reese, by the way.
Well, Dr. Reese, could
Mr.
you...
Reese, I'm surgical.
All right, Mr. Reese, could you please...
Gerald, if you like.
Okay, now tell me, Gerald.
Anything.
Tell me how I get out of here.
It's a bit of a maze. I'd better take you.
I'm not exactly a babe in arms.
How old are you, anyway?
24.
Oh, really? I'd have taken you for younger. We turn left here.
How old are you?
27. Well, nearly 28.
Happy birthday, Gerald.
I was only trying to be friendly. Trying to help.
I just want to be left alone.
You and Greta Garbo both. Well, this is section, and that is the door out into the big wide world.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh, hold on a minute.
What?
It's my lunch break. I wondered if...
Are you offering to take me to lunch?
Oh, it was just a thought.
I'm not hungry.
A drink or something?
A drink or something. What do you want? What are you after?
Oh, now, look here, I'm only trying to be friendly.
So you said.
All right, I admit I'm interested.
An interesting case?
No, nothing like that. Oh, look, your name's Hilary, isn't it? What I'm trying to say, Hilary, is, well, I'd like to see you again sometime.
Take me out?
Yes.
To the pictures?
If you like.
Kiss me goodnight?
Perhaps.
Are you a good kisser, Gerald?
Well, I have my moments.
Is now one of them?
How do you mean?
For kissing.
What, here?
Or are you all teeth and no trousers?
Oh, no, it's not that. It's just that
You find the white coat inhibiting?
Well, people are watching. Let me dump my coat and meet you outside in 5 minutes.
And then you'll kiss me?
Not so loud.
Why, are you ashamed of wanting to kiss me?
People are looking at us.
Surely not, Gerald. It's sheer paranoia. Do you have a history of paranoia, Gerald? Do you have a history of randiness, Gerald? Do you have a history of not being able to keep your hands off female patients, Gerald?
Oh, God.
You're an elephant, Gerald. When I say I want to be left alone, I mean exactly that. Goodbye.
Hello, Flower. It's nice to see you again. It's been a long time since you patronized me. Where you been?
Away.
And now you come back. Hey, you want a cup of coffee?
No thanks, Rick. Tea.
You've been away too long. You forget we don't do tea. It's a coffee house, not a tea house.
I'll have a coffee. Wait, how much is it?
Have it on the management.
No. There you are.
No.
I paid for it.
And you, sir, you want a coffee?
Oh, morning.
You want a coffee?
No.
What are you standing by the counter for if you don't want service, huh?
Decor's a bit dusty.
Huh?
Trade's bad, too. I expect your best customers are still in bed, eh?
It's early yet. Hey, look at that child. She wanders in here like she's in a dream. And now she's wandered away again without the coffee. Does she think I got waitresses?
I'll take it over to her. Have you got any tea? My stomach can't stand that Italian muck.
What do you mean, muck, eh? I am an Italian.
You're kidding. You sound American.
I do, eh?
Yeah.
I really sound American, huh?
I thought you were. Hey, the girl with the red hair.
Yeah.
That's her coffee, is it?
Yes.
Do you know her at all?
Oh, she'll come in here sometime.
Ever talk to her?
She's not a talkative type.
Oh, unfriendly, eh?
No. Oh, great friend. Yeah. But hardly says a word. She likes to sit alone.
That seems a waste. What have you got apart from coffee?
Hot chocolate, soft drink.
Oh, no, I'll risk the hot chocolate.
Hey, you really thought I was American, huh?
Yeah, sure. You look it and all.
Hot chocolate?
Here, take it out of that.
Hey, grab your change, buddy.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Mamma mia, an American. Maybe I could sell hamburgers here.
Oh, you forgot to pick up your coffee, my love. There you are. Thank you very much. I help old ladies into taxis, too. I'm waving them goodbye. There's no stopping me. My scoutmaster used to say I'd go far. It was wishful thinking on his part, of course. Oh, I didn't catch you smiling just then, did I? Good, because I'd hate to see an intelligent conversation like the one we're having spoiled by irrelevant facetiousness. Do you mind if I join you?
Help yourself.
Well, I can hardly refuse an offer like that. Now, how about a spot of dazzling repartee from you? I can put you onto a wonderful correspondence course if you're the type that's stuck for words. Oh, this hot chocolate's horrible.
Looks all right.
Oh, I'll sit and look at it then. My name's Cannon. That's my Christian name. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Have you been following me?
Your train of thought, you mean?
Following me about, have you?
Following you? I should think not. Wait a minute. Didn't we meet at a May ball?
I've never been to a May ball.
Neither have I. Must have been...
2 other people. I know. The old jokes are the best. Are you picking me up?
Yeah, picking you up and shaking you. Get the dust out and let the sunshine in.
And you're the sunshine, I suppose.
Oh, well, I'm not all grins and funnies. I do a very good imitation of Anthony Perkins. I have to stand on a chair, of course. My parents christened me Cannon. I suppose they wanted me to be a big shot. Yeah. Well, there's no other explanations.
And are you? A big shot?
Well, you see that out the window. You know what that is? That's a Rolls-Royce Mark IV Silver Cloud.
You drive that?
Oh, with a car that size, you don't drive it, you frequent it.
Is it really yours?
Don't you believe me? Here's the keys. Of course, I wasn't always a big shot. I started off very small. 6 pounds and 18 inches long. The first 2 years were the hardest, but after that I learned to talk, and I've never looked back since. Mind you, I'm still small physically. Well, smallish. I used to resent it as a kid until one day I was out blackberrying with my scout pack. And I caught onto the fact that I was spotting all the blackberries the other blokes missed. And I thought, Cannon, lad, there's a place in this world for you after all.
I never cared much for blackberries.
Oh, yes, but it's the philosophy that counts, you see. Everybody's got a slot. That's my philosophy, even if they think they haven't. What do you do for a living?
Living? Is there such a thing? It's like a fly, you know, watching it zigzag about in the air. There isn't a pattern. It's all a con. And we are no better. The patterns we trace in time and space are meaningless.
You really mean that, don't you?
Yes.
Those plasters on your wrist, they wouldn't have anything to do with all this, would they?
Rather a giveaway, isn't it? One on each wrist.
I don't approve of pretty girls trying to kill themselves.
Neither do I. I suppose I believe instinctively, that one day something will turn up which will put an end to the futility of everything. If I can hang on long enough, I'll be able to slot in somewhere, as you put it, and if nothing ever turns up, at least I'll have the satisfaction of knowing that my intuition was right and my instinct was wrong.
Well, where's the satisfaction in that, for heaven's sake?
The satisfaction of finding out something for certain that otherwise you would only have guessed at.
Have you lost me? And don't try to find me, I'm hiding. But look, if you think something might turn up one day, why the stunt with the wrists?
I get bored waiting.
Well, so do I from time to time, but I don't go doing rash things with razor blades. How's the coffee?
I don't want it. Can I have a cigarette? Cannon?
Yeah, sure. Oh, hold on. I think I left them in the car. I'll just about get them.
It's all right. Don't bother.
No bother. I told you I was good to old ladies. Hey, I tell you what. I've got a great idea. Now, why don't you come for a spin? Nothing going on here.
That's why I like it here. It's quiet and there's nothing going on.
Ah, come on. I'm a good driver. I've got a real license and everything. Quick roll round the block, eh?
Why?
Why not? Might rain tomorrow.
You're right. It might.
No strings?
No knots. All right, I'll come.
Of course, I used to work in an office one time, but it drove me up the wall. Get down off that wall, Cannon, the boss told me on one occasion. You're ruining the emulsion paint. And then one day, he came into the office and found me crawling under the carpet. I was pretending I was escaping from Stalag 2 in the Second World War. Oh, I lead a rich and varied fantasy life, you see. Cannon, you're fired, he cried. I knew he'd been dying for a chance to say that ever since he discovered my Christian name. I was well out of that job. Do you want some music? We're wired for stereo.
We've been driving for a quarter of an hour and I still haven't had the cigarette you were going to give me.
Oh, you should have said, instead of let me yatter on. I'll lean over the back seat. There's a compartment under the near side window. They're all in there. French, Turkish, Egyptian.
Russian, Greek. Have you got an ordinary one?
Oh, hang about. I've got a packet here. Straight British with tips on. Suit you?
Thanks. Is this thing a lighter?
Yes. Push it in and it pops out when it's ready.
You had that packet in your pocket. You told me you didn't have any cigarettes on you.
Ah, now don't get angry. There's a perfectly simple explanation. I'm a liar.
I've already realised that. You told me this was your car. It isn't, is it?
How do you work that out? Do I look like a car thief?
No, you look like a chauffeur.
Now, what makes you think that?
Well, no self-respecting car thief would steal a car like this. They'd get picked up in 5 minutes.
All right. So Cannon's a chauffeur. Well, you're not a snob, are you?
But it makes me wonder if you weren't lying about something else. I asked you if you'd been following me, and you said you hadn't.
But I'm a proven liar.
You have been following me, haven't you? I knew I'd seen you before. You've been following me for months. I saw you once in a blue Austin in South Molton Street.
A blue... Do me a favour.
Then there's that friend of yours with the Prince of Wales check jacket.
No friend of mine wears a Prince of Wales check jacket, whatever that is. And as for the blue Mini, I wouldn't be seen dead in one. You may not be a snob, but I'm afraid I am. When it comes to cars. Understandable, really.
How do you know it was a Mini I saw in South Molton Street? I said a blue Austin.
All right, it's a fair cop. I've been following you. So what?
So why?
Well, I don't want to baffle you unnecessarily, but I can't tell you just at the present. And that is the truth.
Who's the other man I saw?
Look, let's change the subject, shall we? All this talk about people following people. You've got me on the jitter now. You see that van behind, the blue one with the white lettering?
Universal General Hire, yes.
Yes. I could swear that he's been stuck on our tail since Hammersmith.
Has? I thought he might be something to do with you.
He might at that. Funny thing about this line of business, you never know who's on your side.
He seems to be trying to overtake.
He's driving that van like a sports car. I'll just give him a race if that's what he wants. Wait till he gets level.
He's got something in his hands. He's pointing it to us.
Get your head down.
It's a camera, a movie camera.
Of course it's a camera. Get your head down. Bastard. Now hold on very tight. I'll lose him at this next roundabout. And keep your little face out of his lens. Would you believe it? He's still level. Must be a fancy engine inside that heat. Now brace yourself. Here comes the roundabout.
Look out! He's cutting in front of us!
Keep down! There's another camera pointing through the back window. They can't take the corner. They're not going to make it. Get out of that, mate! Okay. You can resume a more ladylike position now. The nasty men have gone away.
They weren't on your side.
Seems not.
Why did you tell me to keep my head down? Surely it was you they were trying to photograph.
Oh, no. They've got my picture. Or they should have by now.
Why photograph me?
You're asking those naughty leading questions again. But I'm a well-oiled cog in the wheel. I don't squeak.
I want to know what this is all about.
Sorry.
Tell me, Canon, or...
That door has got an automatic lock on it. We can't have our passengers falling out into the road, can we? That's better. This is going to be a longish drive. If you keep nagging, you'll get on my nerves. So let's talk about something else, shall we?
What do you mean, a longish drive? Where are we going?
Well, not very far. High Wycombe, actually. But your appointment's not till 2:15. So lean back and enjoy the drive. There's a packed lunch in the back if you get peckish, by courtesy of Mr. Beresford.
Surrounded by undisclosed and rather quirky characters, Hilary Spite finds that her questions don't bring answers, and the same goes for us. Next time, some answers, but new questions and clues as well, in Part 2 of The Joke About Hilary Spite by Christopher Bidmead, starring Angela Pleasance, with Nigel Anthony as Canon. The executive producer of the Mystery Project is Bill Howell. Our coordinating producer is Barry Morgan. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening and inviting your comments. You can get some idea of what's to come by visiting our website at www.radio.cbc.ca/programs/Mystery Project. See you next week. Hi, gang. Bob Boving here with the Mystery Project, where we've started a fascinating little puzzler in 6 parts. And with a degree of fiendish glee, the author, Christopher Bidmead, has titled it The Joke About Hilary Spite. But the laughs are just not happening for our young lady. In fact, she seems caught up with suspicious characters, and some of them could well be dangerous. Hilary, recovered from a suicide attempt, was released from hospital only to meet a bright-talking man named Cannon sent to collect her. It turned out that someone named Beresford wants to offer her a job.
Associated Charities Trust, Mr. Beresford's office. Oh, it's you again, Canon. No, Mr. Beresford's at lunch. No, it's not like him. Yes, he must have got held up. What's the message? Right. I'll pass that on to him. Oh, hold on, I think he's coming in now. Oh, you don't? Well, I won't tell him you said that. Goodbye.
Morning, Jean.
That was Canon phoning from the Rolls, Mr. Beresford.
I don't want the details. Is the operation proceeding smoothly?
Yes, no major hitches.
Good. Come through to my office, will you, Jean? There are 1 or 2 things I want to go over with you before the Rolls-Royce party arrives. Incidentally, Can you tell me why the night porter is on duty downstairs?
The day relief doorman, who takes over from the day doorman when he goes to lunch, is down with flu, Mr. Beresford. So the night porter is standing in for him.
The man's an idiot. He asked for my pass card.
There is a standing order, sir. All personnel.
We've been out here in High Wycombe for almost 6 months now. If the night porter doesn't know me by this time, he's clearly doing a job that is beyond his capabilities. And why has the day relief man gone down with influenza? I don't get influenza.
Well, it is rather drafty down there in the hall.
It isn't a question of draught, Jean. It's a question of the body's resistance to viral infection. These people don't eat the right food.
Yes, Mr. Beresford.
Now, let's get down to business. What was Cannon's precise message?
There were two, in fact. I've got them here. The first one reads, "As instructed, I followed the girl from the gates of the hospital to this coffee place in the Fulham Road. La Garda, it is called. Am outside there now, going in to make contact."
Yes, all right. Second message?
"Passenger on board, but there might be a slight delay as we've had a bit of aggro from the competition."
A bit of what?
A bit of aggro from the competition.
What the devil is he talking about?
I think he means... I don't know, sir. He ends, "Full report on arrival, which, as I say, may be slightly delayed."
And that's all?
Yes, sir.
I see. All right. Now, I suppose we'd better have the appropriate file out of storage.
I'll do it, sir.
It's file 473.
Oh, quite a recent file.
Yes, she's only been on the books for a couple of years.
She's quite young, isn't she?
24, in point of fact. Though most of the time she behaves like a moody teenager. Have you got the file?
Coming, Mr. Beresford. I wouldn't have thought a moody teenager would be much use to us.
Everybody has his uses. I agree she doesn't look promising material. She's tired of life at 24, and this recent attempt at suicide is only the latest in a whole series. Not the ideal agent.
I wouldn't have thought so.
You can close the file room door. It spoils the look of the room.
Yes, sir.
Plants could do with a sprinkle, while I think of it.
Would you like me to do that now?
But I don't see why not.
Very good.
But it's not as an agent that we want her. We want to pick her brains. She never went to university, but she has a mind that's first-class honours and some to spare.
Oh, there must be plenty in the file room with that qualification.
Not as many as you might think, Jean. In any case, she has practical experience of computers, and that's what we need for this job. Do you think I ought to move the plants away from the windowsill?
Well, I don't think there's any danger of frost. Not for another month, at least. Oh, here they are now. The Rose is just pulling into the drive.
That makes Cannon exactly 2 minutes late.
The girl's with him. Cannon ran round and opened the car door for her, and she shot him a very dirty look.
You're dripping water on the carpet.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
And please come away from the window. We don't want to give the girl the impression she's being spied on.
It's all right. They've disappeared into the porch. Mr. Beresford, I've missed my lunch break. I wonder if I could go out and get some sandwiches.
The sandwich is an ungodly makeshift, but if you must, yes, do. Quickly, I shall need you. Wait, Mortimer's coming at...
2:45, sir.
Good. Now, what about accommodation? Is Pandora Close ready for her?
Yes, that was all put in hand this morning. Mrs. Loach has made up the bed, and the books you asked me to look out have been sent down there. Is that everything, sir?
Where are you going?
The sandwiches.
Oh, I've got a better idea. Send Cannon in to me, and you wait outside with the girl.
Very well, sir.
Hello.
Oh, they're here now.
Oh, hello, love. I'll run up the stairs. Is he doing his nuts?
Go straight in. He wants to see you alone first. Miss Spite, would you like to wait here for a minute, please?
Afternoon, Mr. Beresford.
You are 2 minutes late, Cannon. Explanation?
My apologies, Mr. Beresford.
I don't like having my schedule disturbed without good reason.
Oh, there was a reason, all right. A jack-in-the-box on the A40.
Make your report in Queen's English, please, Cannon.
I'm sorry again, sir. I encountered a commercial vehicle en route which was apparently endeavouring to take cinematic photographs of my lady passenger, and I lost time in making the necessary evasive manoeuvres.
Description of the vehicle?
A 1500-weight blue Morris Traveller. Registration number LWC4840C. The van was marked as belonging to a firm called Universal General Hire, sir. White lettering on a blue ground. Diamond pattern traction tyres at the rear, apparently new, possibly retreads. Front tyres ribbed, same remarks apply. The van was in good condition, although the registration number would seem to suggest...
That's quite adequate for a description of the vehicle, thank you. Driver, passengers?
One passenger. Both the driver and the passenger carried movie cameras. The movie cameras were Japanese, 16mm zoom.
Yes, I don't share your enthusiasm for machinery, Canon.
Oh, sorry, sir.
I'll be content with a description of the occupants of the vehicle.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but I wasn't able to make them out.
What?
Well, the van was travelling at speed.
But you say you saw the pattern on the tyres.
Ah, yeah, well, that was when we went round the roundabout. There was a slight drizzle on and the surface was a bit greasy. The driver braked, his wheels locked, and the van went off the road.
And you can't offer me any description of the driver or the passenger?
No, sir, not really.
I see. You say they were trying to photograph the girl. Do you think they succeeded?
It's possible.
All right, Canon, that's all.
Sir?
Send in Jean and the girl, and you can go out and get some sandwiches.
Oh, thank you, sir, but we had lunch in the car.
The sandwiches are for Jean.
Why can't Jean get her own sandwiches?
She'll be busy. Oh, Canon.
Yes, sir?
The rationale of the sandwich is that food is conveyed to the mouth between pieces of bread.
Yes, sir?
Bring back the whole sandwich, not just the bread. You bloody fool. You should have got a description of the occupants of the van.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Come in, Jean, and bring... Miss Spite. Nice to meet you face to face at long last.
Is that man your driver?
Canon, yes, he is. Jean, have we got anything on a firm called Universal General Hire?
I've never heard of them. I'll check.
And stay out there to block any calls for the next quarter of an hour. Cannon's getting your sandwiches.
Oh, he's bound to bring me ham. I can't stand ham sandwiches.
And who are you?
I'm Cannon's boss. Help yourself to a chair.
I want to stand.
This isn't formal, you know.
Yes, that's what I'm afraid of.
Afraid?
Suspect.
Yes, I can understand your suspicion, but I can't see you being afraid, certainly not of me.
What do you want?
If you sit down, I'll tell you.
All right.
Well, how did you like the Royal Albert and General?
You know about that?
I collect useless information.
The hospital was boring.
It's a shockingly grubby old building, isn't it? They're very short of funds. What did you think of Dr. Wormel?
Not much. He didn't seem very short of funds.
Oh, no. He's as rich as Croesus.
How do you know about him?
He's an old-school chum of mine.
I thought there was something crummy about him.
Don't say that. He's been very helpful to me, on occasions. In my professional capacity as director of this charitable institution.
This is a posh office for a charitable institution. Somehow I can't see you doling out bread to the undeserving poor.
No, we're not a kind of freelance labour exchange. We have funds at our disposal, but I'm afraid I may have misled you into thinking we give money away. We don't, Hilary. We swap it.
For what?
For information.
Look, I don't know who you are or what this racket is you're working, but I think it stinks. I just want to get out of here and go somewhere where I can breathe.
Wait a minute, Hilary. I agree that this racket does have about it a certain odour of corruption, in that one can't always be as above board and straightforward as one would like, but I'm doing a necessary job, and I'd like you to help me do that job. I'm not going to wave the Union Jack at you simply to suggest that the job I'm offering is one you in particular might find very interesting and very rewarding.
I don't want money.
You misunderstand me. Contrary to the tenets of popular fiction, the pay is not unduly high, taking into consideration the nature of the work. Government expenditure has been cut to the bone. I know that financial reward doesn't interest you. I also know that you won't refuse the job.
You're not God, you know.
You won't refuse the job for the same reason that you can't stop yourself from jumping when you're looking over the edge of the bridge into the lapping black water. You're going to take the job I'm offering, Hilary. You can be sure of that.
How could you know that it's like that?
Call it an informed guess.
Who the hell are you, anyway?
My name's Beresford. Berry, if you like. Can I offer you a cigarette?
No.
A drink?
Cup of coffee.
Jean, will you organise some coffee for us?
Oh, yes, sir.
2 cups?
Yes, sir.
And biscuits and stuff. Anything on that firm?
Universal General Hire? Well, we've nothing under that name in our files.
Open a file on them, will you? And I want it bulging with facts by this time tomorrow.
Very good, sir.
Now, Hilary, You can start by telling me everything you remember about the van that was trying to take photographs of you.
You don't seem to be listening to me, Mr. Beresford. I'm not working for you. You have a team of silly people running around playing your little games for you, but I don't want to join them, and I'm not going to. Can I go now? Or are there hard-faced men in grubby raincoats guarding the door?
Oh, good gracious. We don't go in for that sort of thing. Leave when you like. But look here. You're surely not going to dash off without your coffee, and there's always this, my file, with your name on it.
What about it?
I imagine you'll want to know what's in it, your intellectual curiosity.
All right. What's in it?
The short life story of an intelligent, sensitive child of well-bred, well-off parents, father a diplomat, mother a drinker. A squalid divorce that put an end to your father's diplomatic career. Your father, while serving as a foreign correspondent in the Middle East, is accidentally shot while visiting an army base near Suez shortly before the 1956 crisis.
Don't.
Photostat of your father's death certificate. You were in a boarding school in Geneva when that happened. Now this is interesting. On the 18th of March of the following year, while you were still at the same school, it was the first school you'd stayed at for more than a year, all the pupils in your class were set an intelligence test. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember. It was a waste of time. Questions were stupid. I rushed through it, putting down any old answers, and I had to stay in next day while the others were out riding and do another test.
You were made to take the test again to confirm the result. I've got photostats of the 2 test papers here. Let's have a look at them. Look at the score.
The norm's supposed to be 100, isn't it?
Yes, I was very impressed. And that is one of the reasons I want you for this job.
This is ridiculous. A joke. Either that or you're all fools. Do you imagine that you can drag just anybody in off the streets and get them to run errands for you, just like that?
Hilary, you are not just anybody. That intelligence test, may I have it? It's our only copy. This intelligence test proves it. The last page of the file is interesting. The subject, after several attempts at suicide by drowning over a period of 5 years, cut both her wrists in the bathroom of a basement flat in Mount Pleasant Drive. The subject died of cardiac arrest at 7:25 p.m.
What do you mean, died?
Jean, coffee. How nice.
Canon hasn't come back with my sandwiches, sir. Could I pinch one of your Bath Olivers?
Take a pair of them. Cannon? Not back? That's interesting.
Yes, sir.
Let me know when he does return, will you?
Yes, sir.
I'd ask you to stay and take coffee with us, but this is a touch private.
Yes, I understand.
I'd like you to stay.
I'm sorry, that's not on. Leave us, Jean.
Sir.
She'd have sat there scratching away in her shorthand notebook, and we would have both found it distracting. We take a lot of sugar, I believe.
4, please.
You shouldn't. Cream?
No, thank you. Look, Mr. Beresford, this is beginning to get creepy. Show me that file.
Oh, I can't do that. It's classified. I confess, though, as Mark Twain once said of his own mistakenly published obituary, that the report of your death was exaggerated, but there you were, bleeding into the bathtub, and nobody knew you were there. It must have occurred to you to wonder who sent for the ambulance, Biscuit.
You're responsible for that. That gives me a very strange feeling.
A feeling of gratitude?
Pity. Disgust. For the little human being, your puppet, who peered through the bathroom window. Is that what your intelligence work consists of? Is that the sort of job you want me to do?
We saved your life.
And now you want to cash in your saving?
Yes, I think that sums up the situation very well. We've done you a favour. We'd like you to do a favour for us. You do agree we've done you a favour?
Yes.
Good. As to whether or not you work for us, I'm not asking you to make an immediate decision, but if you're anything like your father...
Father?
Sorry, you look startled. What's the matter?
You said that as though you knew my father.
I knew of him, naturally. I read the newspapers.
I see. Now I understand why you expected I'd be willing to work for you. You believe the lies the newspapers published after my father's death.
Which particular lies had you in mind?
You know what I'm talking about. Don't you know that it was the British government that started the story in the first place to cover up the scandal of a civilian being shot accidentally by a British corporal?
Now, wait a minute, please. My memory's not as athletic as yours. You're referring to the allegations that your father was acting as an espionage agent on behalf of certain, shall we say, anti-British oil interests?
That story wasn't true. It couldn't be true. Anybody who knew my father will tell you that.
Your father was a clever man, a clever diplomat, until the divorce put pay to his career. It was suggested in the papers that he was desperately short of money.
He had a good job. He was a journalist, just a journalist.
And it was just bad luck that he was shot dead while trespassing on army premises.
The sentry was drunk. It was established at the inquiry.
You can't face the fact that your father was a traitor.
He wasn't a traitor. It's a lie. It is a lie, isn't it? You know it's a lie.
I know the truth. Would you like to hear it? This information is very highly classified. And normally, there would be no possible justification for passing it on to someone outside the department. But in this case, I am sure that once you know what I have to tell you, you will do as I ask and keep the information to yourself. Do you understand?
Yes.
Your father was not merely a foreign correspondent. During the whole period of his career as a journalist, he was engaged in espionage work. So you see, the story we leaked to the paper was substantially correct. Substantially. However, we amended one important detail. Your father was working for us.
What?
He was a good agent.
Yes, but...
He was one of our best agents, and he was too good to lose.
I don't understand.
He is still one of our best agents.
Are you telling me he's not dead?
It was a near thing. We found out just in time that the lid was off and the heat was on. We staged the incident over the sentry, put up the smoke screen, and were able to rescue a valuable agent. He who fights and runs away.
And my father's alive?
Oh, yes. You can be quite sure of that.
It ought to be hard to believe, but it isn't. It took such a lot of imagination in the first place to believe he was dead.
Oh. Yes, Jean.
Mortimer's here.
Hold on to him, please, Jean.
Right, sir.
Not touched your coffee. Be cold by now. I'll get you another cup.
No,
don't get up. You're very shaky.
I'm sorry. I feel as if I'm going to be sick.
Oh, dear. I'll get Jean. Jean, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Come in, would you please, quickly? Hilary's still feeling a bit off colour. Would you take her down to Pandora Close? Is Cannon back yet?
Yes, just. I was unwrapping my sandwiches when you called.
Get Cannon to run you down to Pandora Close in the car. All right, Hilary. Jean will look after you.
Thank you. I'll be all right.
And Jean, send Mortimer in to me on your way out.
Very good, sir. Now, come along, Mrs. Spite.
Come in, Mortimer. And shut the door.
I told you I led a rich and varied fantasy life. Beresford is part of it.
How are you feeling now, Miss Spite?
Leave me alone. I'm all right.
Pandora Close is the next on the right.
This road looks lovely when the chestnut trees are all in blossom. Pity they're not doing their tiny nuts now.
These houses are all bungalows. I thought you said I would be staying in a flat.
Not a flat. The flat.
What do you mean?
She means you're in for air conditioning, no windows, and the lovely Mrs. Loach. But it's very comfortable.
But this is a suburb. Bungalows with rockery gardens. This isn't what I expected.
It's very ordinary, isn't it? But wait till you get downstairs.
These houses don't have basements.
This one has. You'll soon see. You're not coming in, Cannon. He wants you to take the car straight back.
I'll give him a dog whistle for Christmas. Well, my love to Mrs. Loach and the Budgerigars. Goodbye, Hilary. Or should I say, au revoir?
Not with your appalling French accent, you shouldn't. Goodbye.
It's this way, down these steps. It's nothing very exciting, I'm afraid. No secret lifts or sliding panels. During the war, the whole street was demolished by a German rocket, and this house is rebuilt on top of a bomb shelter. It makes quite a nice little flat.
bed, sitting room, kitchen and bathroom. Mr. Beresford planned it, so don't complain about the lack of a view. He's proud of it. Well, this is the front and only door. Now, this is the bed, sitting room, and the kitchen and bathroom are those two doors over there.
It's very warm.
Stretch out on the bed and get some rest, if you like.
I only came out of hospital this morning. I've just had 2 weeks lying in bed. I wouldn't mind a bath.
Yes, of course. I'll run it for you. It's a beautiful bathroom.
Gramophone. Writing desk. What's this? Television set, all built into the wall. Books. Handbook of binary and digital mechanisms. Computer data processing. Object systems and the information theory. Chapter 6. Analog technique. I remember this book.
Light reading. Mr. Beresford suggested I look those books out for you. If you get bored with those, there are some bound typescripts on the bedside table.
You told Cannon in the car that you didn't know what this job's going to be. Was that true?
Well, more or less. I can't talk about it with you. You will have to wait till Mortimer gets here. I'd better turn the bath off.
What's that noise?
Oh, that's the phone. I'll get it. It's a private line to the office. It'll be Mr. Beresford. Jean here? Yes, we've just arrived. I've sent Cannon straight back.
An analysis of political pressure groups in the United States.
She's sitting on the bed looking at the typescript reports. She's about to have a bath. He says he wants to speak to you in a minute.
Okay. Power configurations in the British Civil Service, 1965. Well,
yes, I see.
That's not exactly hot news.
Yeah.
This is a restricted circulation report.
But if you lay Cannon off, we'll have to borrow someone from another department to investigate Universal General High.
Yes. Report on the purpose and structure of the CIA.
Well, obviously, if Mortimer's suspicions are confirmed, a big shake-up. Yes, sir. Miss Spite. Hilary. He wants to ask you about the van.
What's happened? You look worried.
Oh, nothing. Here, take the telephone. Just one of those minor snarl-ups we get all the time in this business. Speak to him. Here.
Yes. Hello. It's Hilary here.
Now, listen, Hilary. Jean is going to hand you a folder of photographs. I want you to leaf through and see if you recognize either of the men in the van. Don't concentrate too hard. Just let your eye pass easily over the photographs while we're talking. Are you doing that?
Yes.
I hope you're feeling better now. Must have been quite a shock for you. I try to break it gently.
I want to see my father.
I'm afraid that's not possible at the moment, but I promise you that as soon as this particular operation is over, I'll do all I can to arrange it. Are you still looking through the photographs?
Yes. I haven't recognized anybody yet.
Well, keep going until you get to the end of the folder. I've got a duplicate folder here, so if you recognize a face, you need only tell me the number underneath it for me to know which you mean. If you don't recognize anyone, start again at the beginning and use the photographs to build up a composite of the faces you saw. Cannon was not able to provide me with any kind of useful description. I found that odd. Hilary?
Yes?
Did it strike you that he might know the men in the van?
No, I didn't get that impression.
No mind, just a line of thought I'm pursuing. How are you getting on with the photographs?
Nothing yet. I'm nearly at the end of... Oh, wait a minute.
Recognize anybody?
That's who it was. The one in the back of the van. I only caught a glimpse of him, but I'm certain that's the man.
Good. What number?
If I give you the number, will you tell me something?
What do you want to know?
I still don't know anything about this job you want me for.
All right. I'll tell you. What's the number?
Tell me about the job first.
Oh, demanding information with menaces. You are learning quickly. Very well. There's a man we're anxious to trace. We don't know yet where he is or who he is. Before we can find that out, we have to have a particular piece of information. Give me the number, and I'll tell you the rest.
113.
Thank you. Now, the information we want is filed away. We know where it's filed, but the file is not easily get-atable. And this number, 113, could make things a lot more difficult and a great deal more dangerous.
Where is the file?
In the American Embassy in London. Do you know what the CIA is?
Yes, it's the American equivalent of your people.
Well, you, Hilary, are going to have to think out a way of robbing the CIA computer.
Our story is set before the advent of laptops, Palm Pilots, and modems and the World Wide Web, so we can expect the CIA computer to be a little outmoded by today's standards, but still a worthy adversary for Hilary. And can the whole plot be as simple as that? Or will new and dangerous factors come sliding out of the darkness? Tune in next time as the tension rises in Episode 3. The Joke About Hilary Spite is written by Christopher Bidmead. Angela Pleasance stars as Hilary, with Nigel Anthony as Cannon and Rolf Lefevre as Beresford. The executive producer of the Mystery Project is Bill Howell. Our coordinating producer is Barry Morgan. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening and inviting your comments. You can get some idea of what's to come by visiting our website at www.radio.cbc.ca/programs/Mystery Project. See you next week. Hi, gang. Bob Boving with you for the Mystery Project and the continuation of Christopher Bidmead's The Joke About Hilary Spite. There are dark deeds surrounding young Hilary as she grapples with the shadowy forces which seem determined to bend her to their will. The threats are real and the danger mounting. After a suicide attempt, Hilary was finessed into a job with a man named Beresford. He told her that the father she believed dead was in fact still alive, and only Beresford could lead her to him. But who is Beresford, and what is his real business? We're at Episode 3 of The Joke About Hilary Spite.
Are you still in the bath, Hilary? What? Yes. Who's at the door? It'll be Mortimer. It's all right. There's no hurry. Come in. She's in the bathroom.
Doing what?
What do you mean, doing what?
What's she doing in the bathroom?
Having a bath, as it happens. Why?
This flat gives me the creeps, actually. No windows. It's like being in orbit.
How do you know? You have never been in orbit.
All right, in the submarine, then. I asked what she was doing in the bathroom because, if you remember the last time I happened to peek into a bathroom she was using, I found her cutting her wrists with a razor blade.
There are no razors in there. I checked just in case.
Well, is she still feeling suicidal?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's nice. Now, clear this table for me, would you, Jane? I want to lay this stuff out.
What is it?
Data.
Oh, data?
Yes, well, for ginning up our little whiz kid in there. What do you make of her, by the way?
Yeah, she's certainly not your type.
But what I mean is, what's she like from the point of view of this job? I mean, is she as bright a button as Berry says she is?
Mr. Beresford obviously believes she can do it, or he wouldn't have recruited her. Haven't you seen her file?
Oh, yes. I just come from a long briefing session, and Beresford's been waving that file at me all afternoon. Personally, I'm unimpressed with things like IQ tests. Pieces of paper prove nothing. She hasn't even been to university.
But then, if I remember correctly, Mr. Mortimer, neither have you.
7 years in the Navy counts for a damn sight more than some flimsy red brick degree. I leave that to the so-called intellectuals, and they're welcome to it.
The other thing is that she's an expert on computers.
All right, I'm prepared to accept the fact that she has some sort of mathematical kink that makes her useful to us. But let's keep our sense of perspective. Beresford seems to have got it into his head that this girl is an open sesame who will wrap the whole thing up in 2 shakes of a duck's tail.
And you don't think she will?
My dear Jean, have you any idea what the Zeus computer looks like?
No, I don't know anything about computers.
That I can believe. Now look at these papers on the table. Now, you see there?
Yeah.
Now, it's a photograph of the computer terminal. Now, that's where the operator sits and does the programming. And this one is a photo of the other half of the computer, the tape bank.
A whole wall of what it looks like tape recorders.
Exactly. See how many reels there are? Now, each reel holds 2,400 feet of tape. Now, somewhere on one of those reels is about 1 foot of tape that contains the information we need.
How do you find the needle in a haystack that size?
Well, that's precisely what I said to Betty. Well, apparently, Hilary is going to tell us. I say, Jean, you don't think Betty's having a dizzy spell, do you? All those nuts and yoghurt stuff gone to his head?
Oh, Raleigh.
No, don't look at me like that. I mean, I mean it. I have the greatest admiration for the man. As a matter of fact, he's just done something rather sensible.
Oh, Raleigh. And what's that?
Well, who's my favourite colleague?
Cannon. Oh, what about him?
Well, Beresford's taken him off the project. Pending investigation.
Yes, I know. Mr. Beresford told me over the phone. But how did you know?
Well, I got him to do it.
Oh.
I've been telling him for weeks the chap's no damn good. Well, finally, Betty's paying me some slight heed.
Why, what happened?
Well, you wouldn't credit it. Now, you know that phone box round the corner from the centre?
Outside the sandwich bar?
That's the one. Well, when I came past there this afternoon on my way in, who should be in there making a phone call but our old chum, Cannon? Well, you know the regs as well as I do, and so does Cannon. Of course, it's not nice to sneak on a colleague, but in view of his already appalling record, I thought it only fair to the organisation.
Cannon was making an outside phone call?
You bet he was, Jean. But it occasions are very few nasty conjectures, so finally Betty's taken him off. I mean, it's not as though we had agents to spare. I mean, if we had, we wouldn't be fooling about with teenage suicidal maniacs
like me. Oh, Hilary, this is Mortimer.
How do you do? My name's Mortimer.
It's the Prince of Wales jacket, man. You have a very virile handshake, Mortimer.
Thank you very much.
Not at all. I thought you'd be glad of the confirmation. Excuse my dressing gown. Where's Cannon?
Mr. Beresford has assigned control of this project to me.
Then where's Cannon?
Well, I can't discuss that.
All right, then. Let's discuss my father. You can start by telling me where he is.
I'm afraid I don't know the first thing about your father.
But you are supposed to be in control of this project.
That's right.
Then Beresford must have spoken to you about it.
I don't believe he has.
Then why do you think I'm doing this?
I've really no idea.
For fun?
I've said I've no idea.
You didn't think to ask Beresford?
It's none of my business.
I think if ever I had people working for me, the first thing I would want to know would be what they hope to get out of it.
Now, look here. Let's not come to blows. After all, we do have a job to do.
I don't like you, so why should I help you?
I think we'd better leave personalities out of this.
All right. I agree. I take it there'll be no more references to teenage suicidal maniacs.
Yes, well, I apologize for that.
This is a very quiet flat, and a little voice goes a long way.
Yes, well, I begin to see why Betty's so taken with you. I withdraw my remarks. I was very stupid. Jean, last time I was down here, there was some whiskey in that sideboard thing. I think we could all do with a quick sniff to all right.
Yes, it's always here. It's standard stock.
We don't have to sign for it or anything like that, do we?
Oh.
Well, that makes a change.
I'll get some glasses.
Not for me.
Oh, no, please do. It would make me feel better. Anyway, you'll need it when we get down to business.
Let's get down to business now.
Yes, all right. Now, how much do you know?
I know that Beresford wants to get some information out of the CIA computer in the American embassy without the Americans knowing about it. That's all.
Right. Let's sit down. Yes, I see you've been doing some studying.
Oh, the book. I was reading it in the bar.
As well as eavesdropping? Logic Systems and the Information Theory. A good book, that. I'm afraid I could make head or tail of it.
They're rather nice, aren't they, these glasses? Oh, I do think he has taste.
Oh, Betty? They're not whiskey glasses, though. So, not to worry, I'll pour. Did you understand the book?
Yes.
Good. Well, say when.
When?
Here you are. Now, you're probably wondering why we're carrying out an intelligence op against the Yanks. Now, that suit you, Jean?
Lovely. Everything you people do seems screwy to me.
Well, here's the spying.
These photographs. Is this the computer?
Yes.
It looks like a Zeus.
A Z-E-U-S, yes, it is. Now, would you be able to operate it?
Oh, that wouldn't be a problem, assuming we could get in there. But you were going to tell me why you want to steal the information from the Americans.
Well, we'd prefer to regard it more as a loan. It's all rather embarrassing, actually. You see, the CIA are a bit of a law unto themselves. They're friendly enough, but not always as communicative as we'd like. Now, we obviously have to look after our interests, so one day we planted one of our bobs slap bang in the middle of that organisation on the old QT. A chap by the name of Proctor. Now, are you with me so far?
Yes, but what was going on in the CIA that you were so curious about?
Nothing whatsoever. It was purely a protective measure.
So Proctor had a very boring job?
Well, no, not actually. He was a very busy man, in fact. He had 3 jobs. an ostensible job at the American Embassy, and a real job looking after all CIA agents in this country.
And his third job was passing all the information back to you.
Glad you're managing to follow all this. Yes, exactly. So that if any of their chaps started to get naughty, we'd be the first to know about it.
And did they?
What?
Start to get naughty.
Oh, no. Good as gold, for the most part. They confine themselves to counter-penetrating, communist-penetrated organizations and fixing up baseball matches in Regent's Park on Sunday mornings. It was all very harmless, and exactly as it should be, until just under a week ago. Well, 5 days ago, our chap Proctor got bumped off. Now, there you have the essence of the problem.
Where was he killed?
In the reception hall of the American Embassy, of all places. He went down with what was laughingly described as a heart attack.
What makes you think it wasn't a heart attack?
Well, it's possible, but on the whole we think not. He was a healthy man.
The man died 5 days ago, and you're still not sure whether he died of a heart attack or not. What's all the mystery about?
Well, they took him away, you see. Whisked the body off to the American Naval Hospital in Brook Street.
Do you think the Americans killed him?
Well, find out he was working for us, you mean? Oh, no, I don't think they go as far as bumping him off. No, the stakes aren't that high.
And they wouldn't have done it on their own doorstep?
No, that's the point.
So non-habeas corpus?
Yes. What?
Didn't you do Latin at school?
As a matter of fact, no.
I would have taken you for a public school type.
Well, of course, but it was a long time ago.
I said non-habeas corpus. We can't get at the body.
Quite.
So you did do Latin at school?
Yes. Well, I suppose I must have.
Which school was that?
Hadn't you better explain how the computer comes into the picture?
Yes, quite.
Well, that's obvious. You don't think the Americans killed him, but you do think they must have a pretty good idea who did. If that's true, the information, or at least a clue, will have gone into the file the CIA hold on Proctor. And as we're dealing with Americans, I would guess that the file won't just be a boring old cardboard folder like the one Beresford had on me. It'll be on tape, on the Zeus tape bank.
Reduced to its simplest terms, yes. That's more or less the idea. Well?
Well, what?
Well, Beresford led us to believe that you would dazzle us with an instantaneous solution.
I'd like some more whiskey.
Yes, all right. Jean?
No, thanks. You're being very unfair to her, Mortimer. You said it was impossible.
Well, Beresford doesn't seem to think so.
But he hasn't come up with a solution.
No, he's come up with Hilary instead.
I want to know more about this computer. It's rather a large one, isn't it? What else do they use it for?
Oh, it does a lot for them. Monthly salaries, weather diagnoses, service charges to various departments. It picks the teams for the baseball matches in Regent's Park I was telling you about, and computes baseball fixtures all over Europe. Voice of America v. Paris match sort of thing. In addition, of course, to storing the CIA files. In its spare time, it even plays three-dimensional drafts.
Oh. Who with?
With another Zeus computer in Washington. I mean, it's completely futile, of course, but the Americans have a very curious sense of humor.
What's the link between the two computers? Transatlantic cable?
Yes, I suppose it's a cable link. Well, it'll be in the dossier. Yes, here it is.
The same cable they use for transatlantic phone calls?
Yes, they have a continuous booking on one channel of the cable. It's kept open all the time.
Just for the computer?
Apparently.
That must be very expensive if all it's used for is playing three-dimensional drafts.
Yes, well, I hadn't thought of it like that.
Let me have a look at that stuff again. Where did you get this information, anyway?
Well, of course, a lot of it came from Proctor himself. Unfortunately, Proctor didn't know much about computers.
There's something missing somewhere. Why bother to link the two computers at all? There must be some kind of... Yes, that's it. Mortimer, you only forgot to tell me the most important thing about the computer.
Oh? What's that?
The Zeus computer in Washington holds a duplicate of all the information that the CIA feeds into the Zeus computer in London.
Quite frankly, I don't see where that gets us.
That's what the cable's for. That's why the computers are paired.
I'm feeling awfully out of this. Mr. Beresford will expect me to take notes, but I can't begin to understand what you're talking about.
It's quite simple, really. Think of the tape banks as two filing systems, one in London and the other in Washington. Every time a piece of information goes into the London file, the computer automatically sends a carbon copy, an electronic carbon copy, to the Washington computer.
Down the transatlantic cable.
Well done, Mortimer.
I see. But how does that help us?
Well, frankly, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Hold on a minute. I've got an idea.
Well, go on.
There's a teleprinter in your office, isn't there, Jean?
Yes.
Mortimer, can you get me a portable tape recorder, a really good one?
I don't know about portable. I mean, I'll have to get on to equipment supplies.
How long will that take?
Well, that's pretty reasonable usually. We can do it first thing in the morning.
I'll put the acquisition through as urgent.
Oh, that sounds a drag. Must be an easier way. I bet Callum's got one we can borrow. He's fond of gadgets.
Yes, he has, actually. A small one.
Good. And I've got to find out the route of the line that links the London computer to the transatlantic cable.
There's a GPO cable map somewhere here, if that's any good to you.
That's marvellous. How did you get hold of that?
We sometimes have occasion to tap people's phones.
Well, this is going to be a similar kind of deal. Shall we do it tonight?
Steady on. We'll have to clear this with Beresford first.
I thought you'd been assigned control,
Well,
Mortimer.
Beres is due over here later this evening. I think perhaps we'd better wait for him.
All right, you wait for him. I'm going.
Now, what do you mean? I say, now, hold on. You can't do that.
Why not?
Well,
There's no reason on earth why I shouldn't walk out of here unless you've got a gun. Even so, there'd be no point in threatening me. You don't seem to understand the situation. You're a thickhead, Mortimer.
Now, just 1 minute.
5 minutes is how long it will take me to explain the plan to you. After that, we go. Jean will stay behind and tell Beresford what's happening when he gets here. She is also to make a phone call for me. That's my way, and if you don't want to do it my way, you can count me out. I have no sense of team spirit, and it won't bother me in the least. Now, is that a deal?
Well...
Right. Sit down again, and I'll tell you what we're going to do.
Cannon's flat's not far, no? Doesn't it strike you as ironic that he drives that damn great Rose and I'm stuck with this Mini? Incidentally, when we get there, we pick up the equipment and leave. No conversation.
How do you know Cannon will be at home?
He's confined to quarters.
I don't understand.
Neither do I, Hilary. Anything. It's company policy. Now, what's your particular worry?
Why have I been passed on to you?
You've been passed on to me because I am more competent than Cannon to deal with jobs that require brainwork.
Because of your public school background?
You don't let up for a minute, do you? Now, what have you got against me?
Since you ask, I don't like phonies.
What exactly are you insinuating?
I'm not insinuating anything at all. I'm telling you that your public school background is a tale of mystery and imagination and should be filed under fiction. That's right, isn't it?
As a matter of fact, yes. I didn't think it was all that blatantly obvious.
I wouldn't mind, but you do it so badly.
Yeah, well, here's what I started, sort of pretending when I first joined the Navy. Well, it isn't really much fun in the Navy, unless you've got some sort of background.
You really are a thickhead, aren't you?
Well, then you get into the habit, I suppose, and it starts to come naturally. But, good heavens, why am I telling you all this? You really are much too inquisitive.
Sorry. Forget you told me, if you like.
Thanks. Shall we call it, Pax?
All right. Pax. Try the doorbell again.
Yeah, it's not exactly salacious here, is it?
You mean salubrious.
Right?
He's out.
My God, there'll be a particularly nasty row if he is. I think you're right. Cannons for the jump.
There's a window here. Bit hard to shift. That's done it. I could get out onto this ledge. There's a sort of balcony further along.
Yes, all right. I'll see you inside. I've got a key.
Oh, thanks for telling me. Why didn't you say so before? You'd have been for the jump if I'd got in through the balcony and found you sitting in front of the fire.
Well, I was tempted, but then remembered you haven't a very good head for heights.
What makes you think that?
Well, you're the girl who keeps falling off bridges, aren't you? Come in. I'll turn the light on. Well, excuse the squalor. Cannon's den is through here.
All this equipment, tape recorders, loudspeakers, cameras. What's this?
Looks like the engine of a car.
You didn't lug all this up 4 flights of stairs, surely. What are you doing?
Sightseeing.
Do you think it's ethical to look through Cannon's private papers? We're supposed to be picking up a tape recorder, not writing a biography.
Ethics isn't a word we use lightly. In fact, it's not a word we use at all. I think these are all bills. 3 feet of flexible drive cable, carburetor, reconditioned. What nasty, greasy hobbies you have. Piston-type sequence valve.
Look, it's nearly 11 o'clock and we've got a lot of work to do.
Yes, well, quite right. I'm sorry. Now, there's a small tape recorder here we use for phone tapping. Yes, this is the one. Now, this induction coil plugs into it instead of a microphone. Now, you hold the coil against the cable and it picks up whatever's going through.
Oh, just the thing.
Once you found the right cable.
I was looking at the cable map in the car. The best place to pick up the cable is where it crosses the river. It's marked out on the map as a footbridge, out at Putney, a place called Fuller's Wharf. Good gracious, Mortimer, you look terrified.
My expression is intended to convey distaste. Now, switch that torch off. You're blinding me.
What's the time?
Oh, I can't see my watch. Can you make it out?
Let's have a look. 11:35, near enough. Well, this is the bridge.
And we've established that the cable crosses the river at this point, but of course we don't know whether it goes under the river or over it, along the bridge. You hadn't thought of that, had you?
Yes, I had.
Oh.
The cable's relatively new. According to the GPO map, it must have been laid specially when they installed the computer. Don't tell me they'd go to the expense of laying a single cable under the river. I bet it runs along the superstructure of the bridge.
And?
Oh, you're going up there with the tape recorder and that induction coil thing.
And what are you going to do?
I'll stay down here and keep caving.
No, it's a long way up. I've never actually done any climbing.
All right, we'll go together. We'll wade out to the first pile and go up from there.
Wade? I'm not very struck with that idea.
And we'd better get a move on. Jean makes the phone call at midnight, and we've got to find the right cable first.
Have you any idea how much I paid for this jacket?
Keep the tape recorder dry, whatever you do. Not far now. Oh, he's getting deep.
Look, I hope you're happy, because I'm hating this.
Nearly there. Mind how you go. There's a strong current.
But take my arm.
No, I'm all right.
Well, it's not you I'm thinking of. I need support. Damn it, I can't see. Where are you? Hilary. Blast you, Hilary, but for the devil. Help!
Over here. I'm on the pile. This way. Are you all right?
Well, of course I'm not all right. I'm practically drowned.
There's an iron ladder here. Should be easy from now on. That's funny.
What?
Wait a minute. I saw something moving. Over there on the embankment.
There are all warehouses up there. I'm sure you saw something. It's pitch black.
Just for a moment. Flash of light. Like a fish.
But, well, you might give me a hand to get out.
Hang on to the ladder and you can climb out.
Yes, right. Well, anyway, if there is somebody up there, we can't see him, so I can't see how that he can see us.
He can hear us.
That's all right. Well, let's just shut up and press on up the ladder. Go on. After you.
What's the time now?
Wait a minute. 1:45, I think.
Oh, it's cold, isn't it?
You're a sadist.
There ought to be a cable conduit up here somewhere. I'm hoping that all the other cables in the conduit will be telephone cables. If they are, it should be a simple matter to pick out the computer feed line.
I don't see that. How?
Well, the telephones will be talking, or silent, and the computer will be playing three-dimensional drafts. We just tap them one by one until we come to the draft game. What's that noise?
Well, it sounds as if...
What's happening? The bridge is shaking itself to bits.
Oh, hang on.
I am hanging on. Hang on yourself. Are you still there, Mortimer?
Yes, more or less.
Oh, that's something we didn't reckon with.
What, the train? Well, not to worry. Now, let's get on and get out. Hanging upside down under a railway line with the cold Thames licking its lips a couple of 100 feet below is not my idea of a night out.
It's funny you should say that.
What's funny?
Very funny.
Well, nothing can be that funny, not tonight.
I've been here before. There was a footpath that runs beside the railway line. I climbed over the edge of the bridge one night, I suppose it was about 5 years ago, and lay on one of those girders for a long time, looking down into the river.
Oh, now, please, don't jump tonight. Beresford wants you back.
Does he just? Oh, I think I found a bunch of cables. I'm going to put the torch on. Watch the warehouses over on the bank and tell me if you see anything moving. The glint of light I saw may have been the reflection off a pair of binoculars.
Nothing so far.
Yes, they're cables, all right. Pass that stuff up, will you?
Yeah. It's all a bit damp, I'm afraid. Tape recorder.
Thanks.
Headphones.
You know, it's a nuisance about that train.
Yes, but it's gone now.
Yes, but there may be another one. And the sparks those things kick up could put clicks on the tape.
Well, surely the odd click won't make any difference.
Dear old Mortimer, you really don't follow this, do you? What do you expect to come out of the computer? A deep brown American voice?
No, hardly. No, what?
Clicks. That's all. So the odd click could make all the difference in the world. Too many clicks and the whole file would print out as gibberish. What time do you make it now?
5:02. They should have issued you with a watch.
Right. You'll have to shut up now while I listen to the cables. It's nearly time for Jean to make that phone call.
I expected them to be here. I expected a certain amount of planning to precede any action Mortimer saw fit to take. I expected, above all, to be consulted first.
It's nearly time for me to make that phone call, Mr. Beresford.
And none of these things happened. And where are they now?
I'm afraid I don't know, sir.
What?
They're standing by to tap the cable, but I don't know exactly where.
I have to make the phone call soon, at midnight.
Wait a minute. I haven't understood a word of your explanation. What exactly did that damn girl say she was trying to do?
Well, sir, my instructions are to telephone the American Embassy and ask for the night filing section.
Mm-hmm.
That puts me in touch with one of the Zeus computer operators.
All right. What then?
I have to say this. This is exactly as she dictated it. I don't understand any of it, but this is what she told me to say.
Go on.
I am telephoning on behalf of Mr. Sardinopoulos of the American Naval Hospital. Further on the autopsy on Mr. Peter Proctor, Mr. Sardinopoulos reports that subsequent laboratory examination of the gallbladder showed evidence of cholecystitis. This will necessitate reassessment of the stomach content analysis. That's the message.
And what does all that mean?
Oh, nothing at all. It's nonsense. Something she dreamed up.
The point being?
I've got her explanation down here in shorthand. She talks very fast, but I think I've got it verbatim. Again, I don't understand any of it. She says, here we are. Anyway, that should fool the computer operator. He'll add that to the autopsy analysis, which will be in Proctor's file, along with all the other stuff we want to know. Now, a duplicate of this false information has got to go down the transatlantic cable and across to Washington. And I'm betting that happens automatically, immediately the information is filed.
Yes, that sounds reasonable enough. Go on, Jean.
This is the bit I don't understand. She says, now, the way the Zeus operates means that you can't just add a new piece of information to the end of an existing file as you would if it was an ordinary paper filing system. There's no spare tape at the end of the file. What happens is that the whole file is dubbed across onto another tape and the new information is added in at the appropriate place. So what goes down the cable to America is not just the spurious information that Jean will phone in, but the whole file. Everything we want to know. That's what we'll be attacking, provided we can find the cable. Do you understand that, sir? Sir?
Sorry, Jean. I was just wondering why I hadn't thought of that. I suppose the man who lived next door to the inventor of the wheel must have been plagued by a similar feeling. Genius, an extraordinary thing. Such a transparent air of simplicity about it. Oh, I suppose you better make that phone call now. We don't want to keep Hilary and Mortimer waiting. It's probably freezing out there, wherever they are.
You look like the hear no evil monkey when you put those headphones on. Anything interesting happening?
A high-pitched whine and a lot of intermittent clicks. It's been going on for 3 minutes now without a break. I suppose they're still playing drafts.
Who's winning?
I don't know. I don't play drafts.
Incidentally, now shut me up if I'm intruding, but did you jump? I mean, last time you were here?
Yes, of course.
But what an odd thing to do. I can't visualize it myself. You must have looked ghastly when they fished you out.
Shut up, will you?
Well, I'm sorry.
And turn the tape recorder on. The draft game stopped.
Tape running?
The wire's still silent.
Not as silent as all that. There's another train coming.
Oh, no. A train is the last thing we need. Wait a minute. Something's coming over the cable. Lots of clicks. Then nothing. Clicking again. It's stopped. It's all over.
Here comes the train.
Give me that tape recorder.
What? Why?
Give it to me!
Just a snatch. What are you doing, for heaven's sake? Oh, my God, she's going to jump. Hilary! Hilary! Hilary!
We've had cliffhangers before, but this is the first bridge hanger that I can recall. Next time, be here for the splash and the continuation of The Joke About Hilary Spite by Christopher Bidmead. Angela Pleasance stars as Hilary, with Nigel Anthony as Cannon. The executive producer of The Mystery Project is Bill Howell. Our coordinating producer is Barry Morgan. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening and inviting your comments. You can get some idea of what's to come by visiting our website at www.radio.cbc.ca/programs/mystery project. See you next week. Hi, gang. Bob Boving here for the Mystery Project, where our current puzzler is The Joke About Hilary Spite by Christopher Bidmead, and we're at episode 4. Caught up in a plot to steal a secret file from the CIA computer, Hilary has the expertise, but can she handle the relentless danger, to say nothing of the constant double crosses? Sent to do the dirty deed with Beresford's assistant Mortimer, Hilary finds that she can tap into the embassy's phone cable underneath the Putney Railway Bridge. Things look good for the first few minutes, but then British Rail throws a spanner into the works. Will the train miss them? Is there enough room for all of them on the bridge at the same time?
The train's coming.
Give me the tape recorder.
What?
Give it to me.
Oh, there's no need to snatch. Listen, what are you doing, for heaven's sake? My God, she's going to jump. Hilary! Hilary! Hilary!
I'm sinking as the muddy Thames closed over the head of the drowning girl, teasing out her hair into blood-red tentacles in semblance of some giant man of blue. I sink, therefore I am. Funny, but I'm not cold anymore. Above her, on the bridge's massive arch, high on the spine of that skeletal mastodon. Well, thought Alice to herself, after such a fall as this, I shall think nothing of tumbling downstairs. How brave they'll all think me at home. I hope this tape machine of Cannon's is waterproof. The pathetic weather-spoiled figure of Mortimer, baying her name to the four winds. I wonder how many miles I've fallen this time. I must be getting somewhere near the centre of the earth. Oh, shut up, don't be a fool. You've got work to do. The tape recorder's not taking this too well. A body falling from a height h into a liquid medium is brought to rest at a depth d after travelling through the medium for t seconds. You've got to think. Mortimer doesn't realise you jumped to keep the tape away from the train. Do cats eat bats, I wonder? A body wholly or partially immersed in a fluid experiences an upthrust equal to the weight of the fluid displaced. The body at depth d experiences the upthrust and begins to rise again. I'm rising. Mortimer will be panicking. You must get out of here and get hold of him before he does anything silly. Rising slowly, like a souffle. That's ridiculous. But rising. Here comes the surface. It descended on her like a dimly glowing grey gauze net. Here it comes. Breathe. Now! I'm hearing things. Mortimer, he really is. The man's an idiot. Shut up, Mortimer. Thank you. Now for... What the hell's that? Someone waving a searchlight about. Motor launch. Looking for someone. Me? Oh, deep breath and back down below.
Sweep the area under the bridge again.
Bring it under the bridge.
Driftwood. More driftwood. Wait, what's that?
Hold the searchlight there a minute.
More driftwood. Try the bank.
Along the bank now.
She's there, she fell. What about the man up there on the bridge?
Nothing there now.
More driftwood. We'll wait.
Circle here.
If she's down there, she'll have to come up for air.
Who's in that launch? She wondered who was in the launch as for the second time that night the vaulted watery roof of the old river closed over her. You have to get rid of the tape recorder. It's too much to carry. Everything's going swimmingly tonight. While through the gloom around her rose the piles of the bridge, looking for all the world like the pillars of some vast submarine cathedral. You have to unthread the tape. She found herself becoming drowsy. I can't do it. The spool's stuck. You mustn't panic. She told herself she mustn't panic. I mustn't panic. Do bats eat cats? With trembling fingers. Don't spill the tape. Damn the bloody thing. Swearing? I'm dying. would be a corpse in the black lapping water, the waves drumming on her taut lungs. Drowsy. Got it! You did it, Hilary! So saying, she thrust the precious bundle inside her shirt. I can't hold my breath much longer. Becoming drowsy. Tape recorder. Get rid of it. I must get to the air. Goodbye, Cannon's tape recorder. Now swim!
Know what I think?
No, but you're going to tell me.
I think what doesn't come up must stay down.
Profound.
She'll come up in a week or two. They do, you know. They float.
All right. Turn the launch around.
Fair enough. That's it. Here we go.
And kill that searchlight.
You'll see London air. Welcome back. And there's the shore within spitting distance, so swim for it. Mortimer will be waiting in the car if there's any sense. Launch has gone. I wonder who they were. This is not the life. I bet Mortimer's gone back to High Wycombe without me. He's that kind of idiot. What'll I do? Cannon's flat. This is the railway bridge. We came that way. What? Who's that?
Don't turn around.
What?
You must listen to me when I'm talking to you. I said don't turn around.
But...
Please stay under the bridge.
Who are you?
Put your hands behind your head and clasp your fingers together. Now, come on now. You just do that for me when I'm asking you so nicely. Thank you. My, girl, you're soaking wet.
Does it show?
I saw you swimming there like you were having a high old time. I said, don't turn around. Now, 3 steps backwards, towards me, if you'd be so kind.
1.5, and you meet me halfway.
No, baby. I'm the man with the gun.
Oh, that's how it is. I thought it was personal magnetism.
No unnecessary movements. Just take it nice and easy.
I always walk backwards like this.
That's enough. High old time you've been having tonight. No mistake. I was watching you climbing on bottom of the bridge there with your friend earlier on. I guess you must be a little exhausted. So, we're just going to rest up here for a minute or two while you get your strength back.
And then what?
You look pretty cold standing there. Would you like my coat?
Yes, please.
If you give me the tape.
What tape? What are you talking about?
Now, I can fool around all you want, but let me tell you this. If I don't get that tape, I'm going to kill you. Now, you better believe that.
Who are you?
I know you've got this tape recording because you've been on the close observation. And I'm about to take that tape off you because that's my job. Now, I always do my job. Now, you better believe that, honey.
The tape's down the front of my shirt. I can't get at it with my hands behind my head.
Now, you keep your hands there. I'll get it.
You certainly will not.
You want to go back in the river? I can arrange that.
You don't have to arrange anything. I'll give you the tape if you like. This tape, would you mind looking away for a minute, is nothing special to me. Here it is. Can I turn round now?
Slow and easy.
Catch.
Now, you shouldn't have done that.
Oh, I'm a lousy shot. Sorry. It's too dark.
Now, you stay right where you are. I'll get it. You'll be a good little statue, because I need light, see? No, I said stand still. Now, come out from behind them shadows. I said come out of there, girl. I'm a bad loser. You better believe that. I got the tape, girl, but I ain't going back without you. And if I've got to kill you, I'll just as soon take you back dead.
Go to hell! Missed again, mister!
Back into the river again or onto the road. Road, I think. All slow along there, where the river bends. I should be able to vault it. Once I'm among the building, there'll be plenty of cover. If I can make it. Hell, it's low. He can see me. Why is it light? Dear old London. It's a jungle. Well, He's not hit me yet, touch wood. And once I'm over the wall... Here we go. Goodbye!
I missed you this time, little redhead. But I'll find you. You better believe that. I've got all the time in the whole wide world.
You what?
I stole a car.
That's a criminal offence. In fact, it's several criminal offences.
Will Mortimer had gone without me. He'll probably tell Beresford I'd finally gone and killed myself.
Oh, never mind about that. Do you realise that was near enough 200 quid worth of tape recorder you ditched tonight? And that was personal, out of my salary.
I'm sorry.
Of all the diabolical... Well, it leaves me speechless. That's saying something.
We had to have a tape machine. Mortimer was expecting you to be in. In fact, he turned very nasty when he found you were out. And he said you were for the jump.
Oh, did he now? Nosy git he is. I bet he feels simply super catching me out like that. Thing is, he's right. I am for the jump when this gets back to Beresford.
I'm sorry. I don't think there's anything I can do.
That is what Beresford would call a realistic appraisal of the situation. A right marmalade you've made of everything, I must say.
Me?
Yes, you copper locks. You dreamt up this stunt that sent Mortimer beetling over here in the middle of the night for a tape recorder.
How was I to know you'd be out? Where were you, anyway?
That's none of your business. I don't ask you about your sex life, do I? On top of that, you sell the whole scheme literally up the river by jettisoning my lovely tape recorder in the Thames and calmly handing over the tape to the first wandering gunman who happens to ask for it. You know, I would have passed you on to the Rosses for nicking that car. I am here and now harbouring a criminal. I'm harbouring a criminal, getting on for 3 a.m. when any decent citizen would be tucked up in bed snoring into his wife's curlers. Look, hadn't you better have another drink? You're still shivering.
Yes, all right, thanks. I stole the car, if you're keen to know, because I wasn't going to go wandering through London barefooted and soaking wet, chased by a revolver-toting Negro. You go off that sort of thing very easily.
A Negro? Now, look, this is important about the Negro. Can you describe him?
I came here to borrow another of your tape recorders.
You're joking.
Serious.
Look, about this Negro...
I don't want to take the damn thing away. All I want to do is play a tape on it.
Tape? What tape?
What do you think? The tape.
Now, hold on. You told me that...
That I gave the tape
to the Negro.
But...
Well, go on.
Well, there were 2 spools on the tape recorder. To start with, there was a full one and an empty one. Up on the bridge, we did a bit of recording. We didn't record for very long, so at the end of that, there was a fullish tape and an emptyish tape. When I ditched your tape machine, I took both spools off. I had 2 spools down the front of my shirt when I came out of the water.
Aphrodite emerging from the waves.
Very funny. All I had to do was to bite through the tape and throw the fullish spool at the bloke and run like hell.
You're a witch.
Well, what would you have done?
Well, I can't help feeling the whole gig could have been organised a bit more economically. I mean, without the high dive into the Thames and the riverbank sprint. Now, give us the tape. I'll play it on this machine.
Wet, I'm afraid.
Oh, who cares? These Sonox tape recorders only cost £500 apiece. I have a new one delivered every week. Chuck the old ones in the river.
Oh, don't get all bitter and twisted about it.
And what exactly is on this piece of tape?
Play it and find out.
Can't wait. Here goes. That's it.
That's it.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
On the way to it. You haven't got a teleprinter among all this machinery, have you?
Teleprinter? Oh, I get it now. We feed that into a teleprinter and out comes the Proctor file.
How did you know that?
Peter Proctor, American Embassy personnel officer. Busy man, overworked, in fact. Heart failure, very sad. Our organisation consists of watertight compartments, only in theory. I keep my ear to the ground.
A vulnerable posture.
Walking round with your eyes shut is dangerous, too, in this business.
And which of those 2 extremes brought on Proctor's heart attack?
Well, let's play the tape onto a teleprinter and find out, shall we?
So you've got a teleprinter?
No, but I've got an electric typewriter. I think I should be able to do a conversion job on it. It'll take me a couple of hours.
You're a useful man to have around.
Marry me.
Not me, Cannon. You need a plump little wife who knits, has babies, and is invisible except at meal times.
And what are you going to do while I rig this up?
Oh, get some sleep. You've got a decent bed here.
Next door. I don't quite see how the babies come in, though.
Babies?
Well, if she's invisible except at meal times... Oh, forget it. I'll show you the bedroom. I'm sorry, but it's not the Ritz.
I'm too tired to know the difference. But, Cannon,
yeah?
You will wake me up when you're ready to run the tape, won't you? It's been hard work getting hold of it, and I want to be there when it's transcribed.
Mr. Beresford, do we have to
stay up all night.
Follow me, don't talk.
But I don't see why we had to come back to the office. If we've got to wait up for them, we could have done it at Pandora Close.
Press the night bell for me, please, Jean. Mortimer will most likely telephone his report to the answering machine here. I want that report as soon as possible. I want to have words with him.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Beresford. Morning, I should say.
Morning, Porter. Any messages for me?
Oh, no, sir. I've received nothing down here. You certainly work a heavy day, sir.
Yes, I do.
I hope you're on time and a half.
Careful. He's in one of his efficient moods.
Come on, Jean, we're wasting time. And turn the damn lights on, Porter. I'll break my neck on these stairs.
Yes, sir. Roll on the happy day.
Central heating's off.
It is 2:30 in the morning.
Check the answering machine.
Yes, sir.
Are you hungry?
Ravenous, as a matter of fact.
Oh, there should be some yogurt in the fridge. And put some more lights on. This office is like a morgue.
Morgues are usually well lit, sir. There. That's better. Are we going to take tomorrow off?
Well, that depends on what Mortimer has to say.
Yeah. No messages on the machine.
I'm going to be very cross indeed if the scheme of Hilary's turns out to be a wild goose chase.
Well, she seems very bright.
Oh, she's that all right. Strawberry or hazelnut?
I'm sorry?
There are two, strawberry or hazelnut.
Oh, yogurt. No, thank you, sir. I've just remembered the sandwiches Cannon got for me are still in my drawer next door.
Sandwiches. Porter.
Yes, Mr. Beresford?
Will you turn on the central heating?
Well, I've just done that, Mr. Beresford. And there's a phone call come through this minute from Mr. Mortimer. Should I put it through?
Where's he ringing from?
Oh, he didn't tell me, sir. A phone box.
All right, Porter, plug him in.
Hello, Barry.
Nice to hear from you. Where the hell have you been?
Look here, Barry. I've got some rotten news, I'm afraid. You're not going to like this. This girl of yours, Hilary, we were on a railway bridge over the Thames.
Hungerford Bridge?
No, it was out at Putney. Well, we found out that was where the cable from the computer crossed the Thames.
Oh, get on with it, Mortimer. Come to the point.
She jumped.
She did what?
She jumped off the bridge.
Gina, get on the other phone and see if you can raise a spare agent for me, too, if you can.
I don't think there's anybody available, sir. Potter's in Zurich until the 14th. Neumann's on loan to Manchester.
Now, what about, what's his name, McNichol?
We, closed McNichol's file on Friday, if you remember.
Oh, so we did, damn nuisance. Mortimer, did you manage to pick her up?
Well, no. As far as I know, she's still, presumably...
You looked for her?
Well, it took me ages to get off the bridge. There was no sign of her by the time I got down to the bank.
No, what about the tape?
Well, I'd better tell you that when I see you, hadn't I? Not over the phone.
Get over here straight away. And I warn you, Mortimer, you're in for a rotten time.
Yes, sir.
Hilary, wake up, love.
Go away.
Rise and shine. Typewriter's ready.
Hello, Cannon. What time is it?
Nearly dawn. Took longer than I thought. She'll be all right now if we keep our fingers crossed. I've made you some tea, you know.
Can I have a cigarette?
Oh, I'm sorry, I've finished all mine. Shut your eyes, I'm just going to turn the light on. Feeling better?
Full of beans. Oh, you make an awful cup of tea, Cannon.
Yeah, terrible, isn't it? I'm a lousy cook, too.
What's that black machine on the chest of drawers?
What? That? Oh, that's just some photographic stuff of mine. Oh, come on, we'll do the tape and then have some breakfast, eh?
Larger. Oh, so you go in for photography, too? These photos are still down. Can I have a look at them?
They're nothing much, just some art studies. Haven't we better go on with the tape? I thought you were raring to go. Should have put these photos away. They pick up a lot of dust while they're wet. Well, come on. We've got a lot of work to do. It'll soon be morning. I'm feeding the output of the tape machine into the typewriter. The click sounded very fast to me, all right for a computer to deal with, but too fast for this setup, so I'm running the tape recorder at half speed. Ought to work.
Why wouldn't you let me see those photographs?
Well, one thing at a time. Are you ready for the great unveiling?
Yes, all right. Let me see. It works.
Works? Of course it works. It's manual aptitude. I've got the brains of a finger surgeon.
Don't you mean...
Let's have a look at what we've got here. Oh. Who'd have thought Peter Proctor's middle name was Hamilton?
I suppose the group of letters after the name is his security classification.
Payroll number 189372558. Got a lot of people on their payroll.
Born in Munich. That's odd.
Oh, so he's not one of the Gloucestershire proctors. Colour of eyes, dark brown.
A mole above the right...
No wonder this information's classified.
Parents German. Father believed to be associated with the...
Oh, that's very interesting.
The subject emigrated to America in 1946. Columbia University.
Now look at this. His security classification was amended in September. That's a month before he died. 26th of September. Declassified to... And then those letters again. And why declassified?
Oh, this is why. This next entry, 26th of September. Evidence submitted to the screening committee establishes that the subject has, for an unknown length of time, been working for the organisation calling itself the Cross of Light.
Well, what's so un-American about a religious organisation?
Well, the Cross of Light, canon, is an ancient Oriental symbol of purity.
Really? Oh, I don't go much on the ancient Oriental symbols. You've seen one, you've seen them all.
You'd recognise this one if you saw it. You see, the Cross of Light is the swastika.
Mortimer, you're a fool. A damn bungling idiot. And I'm doubly damned for being so crass as ever to credit you with good sense.
Mr. Beresford...
Who runs this department? I do. Who carries the responsibility for everything that goes on in this department? I do. Who authorises every operation initiated by this department?
You do, Mr. Beresford.
Then why, in the name of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, am I the last person in this department to hear about your asinine gavotte tonight?
I think the point is...
Shut up.
Oh.
Well, you stressed the importance of the time factor, Berry. What to have reported back to you would have been to hold up the whole operation by at least an hour. The girl thought very fast, impulsive.
So you allow yourself to be carried away in a whirl of youthful exuberance and jettisoning your training, your judgment, and your usual stickling regard for procedure. You take this girl from a place where I have put her, specifically for the purpose of observing her, while she's becoming acclimatized to the idea of working for us. And what do? You contrive to lose her.
Yes, sir.
I'm disappointed in you. Get out.
Yes, sir.
Go next door into Jean's office and write out a full report.
Yes, sir. Very good, sir.
Do you want me, sir? It's very late.
On the contrary, it's very early. The day is only just beginning.
Well, I'd like to go to bed.
Take a letter.
Yes, sir.
To the editor of the Times, dear sir.
Dear sir?
I must take issue with your correspondent whose views on what he describes as liberalisation disgraced your columns on Wednesday last. All the major religions of the world embrace in one form or another the idea of spiritual attainment through a process of purification.
Is that the end of the letter, sir?
Whether it be the Roman Catholic... She snatched the tape recorder from him before she jumped.
So Mortimer said.
Then I fancy we may hear from her before very long.
But if she jumped off the bridge...
She might take the tape recorder with her if she wanted to kill herself. Tape would be of no value in Valhalla.
Valhalla?
The place where the souls of the slain repose in perpetual bliss, according to the Scandinavian legend. Ergo, she is not, as Mortimer supposes, in Valhalla. Where, then?
I don't know. Do you want to finish this letter to the Times?
Yes. Or the Manichaean belief in the practice of asceticism as a means of separating the elements of light and dark that are intermingled in the flesh of man. I suppose for the sake of argument, Mortimer took Hilary along with him when he went to collect the tape recorder from Cannon.
He didn't mention taking her up to the flat. I can ask him.
I'll do it. Mortimer.
What? I say sorry. You gave me a scare.
When you used the pass key to get into Cannon's flat, did you take Hilary up with you?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Thank you, Mortimer, that's all.
Well, what do you have in mind?
That's all, thank you, Mortimer. Well, blithering idiots. What's Cannon's phone number? Well.
Mr. Beresford's office?
Is that Jean?
Speaking. Who's calling, please?
Oh, this is Hilary.
Good morning, Hilary. We were on the point of phoning you. I didn't think you knew this number.
Oh, I'm at Cannon's flat.
We just reached that conclusion.
I rang Pandora Close. Mrs. Loach said you'd gone over to the office. I got her out of bed. She was furious.
She's well paid for these little inconveniences. So you're at Cannon's flat. Is Cannon there?
No, not at the moment. He went out to get some fags.
And the file, did you get it?
Oh, yes, I got that all right. What's more, we've transcribed it.
Splendid. I think it would be probably best if we came straight over to you.
Don't bother. I'm not staying.
I beg your pardon?
And I shall be taking the file with me.
I hope you're joking, Hilary. Explain.
No, I want you to explain. Explain what these photographs are doing in Cannon's flat.
Photographs?
You haven't laid him off the job at all. These photos prove it. I noticed them lying about in the other room, but when I asked to look at them, Cannon became cagey and shoved them in a drawer.
I still don't understand what you are talking about.
They're still wet.
They'd only just been developed.
And your insatiable curiosity constrained you to take a peep at them while Cannon was out fetching the other facts.
Yes, that's right. I've got them here.
Well?
You know damn well what I'm talking about. They seem to have been taken with some special kind of camera, and the details difficult to make out. But they're obviously photographs of me and Mortimer working on the bridge. You've had Cannon spying on us.
I see. Now listen carefully, Hilary. Cannon will be back any minute, so I'll have to explain quickly and without interruption. When the explanation is over, you are to hang up and replace the photographs where you found them. It is of the utmost importance that you give Cannon no cause for alarm. Cannon did not take those photographs on my instructions. We've suspected for some time that he may be acting as a double agent.
What?
I must ask you to accept my bare word for that at this stage. The photographs you have in front of you were not destined for this office. That being so, it could be dangerous for you.
Well, I'll accept your explanation for the moment. You don't have to go on. In any case, I think that might be Cannon coming back. I can hear somebody on the stairs.
Well, try to keep him there at the flat. We're coming straight round.
Right, I have to hang up now. He's on the landing. Must hide these somewhere. There. That should be all right. What's the matter? Forgotten your key? All right. Coming. I hope you got filter tips, Cannon. I can't stand... Oh, God. It's you.
I said I was going to find you, and when I say I'm going to find you, you sure had better believe it, honey.
These bad apples just keep bobbing to the surface in Hilary's pool. This was episode 4 of The Joke About Hilary Spite, starring Angela Pleasance. Next time, be with us when new complications keep chasing Hilary in smaller and smaller circles, with some deadly results. The executive producer of the Mystery Project is Bill Howell. Our coordinating producer is Barry Morgan. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening and inviting your comments. You can get some idea of what's to come by visiting our website at www.radio.cbc.ca/programs/Mystery Project. See you next week. Hi, gang. Bob Boving here for the Mystery Project. We're getting closer all the time to the climax of The Joke About Hilary Spite by Christopher Bidmead, starring Angela Pleasance. After being coerced into stealing a CIA computer file, Hilary discovers that there are new players in the game, and they carry guns. Right. Up to now, Hilary managed to retrieve the CIA code file, survived a plunge into the Thames while people in a boat were trying to capture her, got back to Cannon's flat and decoded the file. So all she has to do now is deliver it to Beresford. But there's that old adage about the cup and the lip, or in this case, between the decision and the knock on the door.
What's the matter, Cannon? Forgotten your key? All right, coming. I hope you got filter tips this time. I can't stand... Oh, God. It's you.
I said I was going to find you, and when I say I'm going to find you, you sure had better believe it, honey.
Well, don't start anything dramatic. My boyfriend's coming back in a minute. You can't tackle both of us.
I'm not about to try. You and I are getting out of here just as soon as I've collected what I've come for. And now stay right where you are and keep your hands inside. I guess this'll be the tape I'm looking for. That was a neat trick you pulled on me back there by the river. But I've got the quality of persistence, and that's a fine personal quality to possess. I just keep right on at my job until I get it done.
What do you want? A medal?
Just the tape, girl. And I'll take the printout if you'll be so good as to hand it over.
I've no idea what you're talking about.
You're a bad poker player, girl. Now, if I were standing where you're standing and I wanted to hide something in a hurry, Where would I turn?
Look, why don't you just get out of here while you've still got time?
Oh, I've got time enough to figure this out. I'm in your mind while you're standing by the window hearing me come up the stairs. But hold on. Something whispers to me that you weren't by the window. You were by the telephone. Because I sure as hell heard you hang up. You don't do the obvious thing, not you, no, honey. So, maybe you stoop down and you turn up the carpet like this here, see? Well. Now I know we understand each other. Photographs do. I wonder what they are. Okay, walk to the door and don't do anything jumpy. You and I are about to take a short trip in my little Chevrolet. Slide right in, honey.
Where are we going?
We're going to see some nice people. They're not too chatty, but they're good listeners. And that's the secret of good conversation, according to the book I read.
According to the books I read, you people are supposed to make lightning getaways. You seem to be having some trouble starting this splendid car of yours. Oh, look, there's a policeman. Perhaps we can get him to give us a push.
I don't want to hear a word out of you.
Now, you're hardly going to shoot me out here in the street in the presence of a police officer. Oh, he's coming over to help.
You'd better sit back and shut up now. This is going to need some sensitive handling.
Evening, sir. Oh, hello, miss.
Hello.
Having a bit of bother with your starter, are you?
I guess I've flooded the carburetor.
Going far?
Not by the looks of it.
Could be your sparking plugs. Have you checked your sparking plugs?
Believe me, officer, I wouldn't know a sparking plug if I saw one.
The car won't start without them. If somebody takes out your sparking plugs, you can pull the starter until you're blue in the face, and you'll still be here when the cows come home. You see this?
What is it?
It's a sparking plug. Made in Detroit, that one is, by an odd coincidence.
An American sparking plug?
I've got 5 more in my pocket.
Now, hold on a minute, officer.
Hold on. I'm not going anywhere. Neither are you without these sparking plugs.
A van's just pulled up behind us.
That's right, miss. I should hop out now while you've got the chance. Hand the gun out through the window, Lenoir. It's no use to you. There are 5 of us out here.
Hand us the gun, Lenoir.
I thought you cops weren't supposed to carry arms.
Hold it by the barrel.
Come on. Pass that damn gun over, I'll blow your head open.
One of us will.
The girl will get hurt.
You guys aren't cops.
Nothing so straightforward. Give it to us. Thank you. Luger. Nice choice.
Don't forget to put the safety catch on. I'd hate for it to go off in your pocket, Constable.
My colleague's uniform is misleading, isn't it? We wanted to collect you as quietly as possible. Okay. Out! Both of you! Keep together, you two. Walk over to the van.
The van! I recognize it!
Universal General Hire? Who are they?
We are Universal General Hire. Well, open the doors, gentlemen.
Do we want them both?
No, not both of them, just the girl.
All right, miss. In the van. Don't hang about.
What about him?
We'll worry about Mr. Lenoir. Mind your feet. She's no trouble. Do you want any help with him?
No, you better get into the van in case a real copper turns up. Are we all ready to go?
All ready.
I'll be with you in a minute. All right, Lenoir. Get your jacket off. Off! Now, pass it over very carefully. Thank you. Photographs and the transcript. Just the job.
Are you through with my jacket? It's pretty cold.
I think I'll keep it. Lugers are nice, but noisy. The jacket will help to muffle the bang. Bye-bye, Lenoir.
We should be there in another 5 minutes, Berry.
Good.
Then what?
We collect Hilary and the transcript and return to High Wycombe.
What about Cannon?
That depends on what we find at his flat. Hilary said on the phone she'd come across some photographs he'd taken.
Photography is a hobby of his. It could be something harmless.
Or it could be the proof we need. I mean, I've been saying for months...
Thank you, Mortimer. Your opinion of Cannon has been noted.
It's not just opinion.
Please keep your eye on the road and your mouth shut.
Sir.
This evening's fiasco disqualifies you from passing judgment on anybody. Cannon's been working for us for 3 years now. In the past, he was reliable, if perhaps a little unorthodox. But I admit that doubts have recently begun to cross my mind. Doubts which perhaps will be resolved one way or the other when we see the photographs.
If Cannon hasn't already come back and found her with them.
I credit Hilary with enough good sense to avoid any unpleasantness. The important thing is that at last we have a transcript of the Proctor file.
Provided Cannon hasn't disposed of it elsewhere.
You're beginning to irritate me, Mortimer. Stop it!
Sir?
You know, this girl Hilary is interesting. She's an untrained amateur. She's politically uncommitted. She doesn't even know what side she's on, and yet, in her own way, she is utterly trustworthy, and she gets results. This is the street, Mortimer. Pull up at the end. Yes, she gets results. I set her the task of procuring the Proctor file, and that is exactly what she has done.
We've arrived, sir.
Now that we have Proctor's file, it shouldn't be difficult to deduce why he was killed and who killed him. It is our faceless enemies that put us most in jeopardy.
Cannon's is the 4th floor flat, isn't it? I don't see any lights on.
Jean and I'll stay in the car. Go up and investigate, Mortimer. Use a pass key. Should you need any help, signal from the window. Got your gun?
Yes, of course. I say, if I'm not back in 5 minutes, come and lend me a hand.
I'll be there if it's really necessary, but I trust you to cope with this. You will cope, won't you, this time?
Sure, Benny. Sure.
This is quite like the old days. One leads too much of a sedentary life.
You're fitter than I am, sir.
You should eat the right food, Jean. All your body's energy is used up in trying to cope with the rubbish you cram into it. I told you before.
Yes, Mr. Beresford.
And exercise. I try to balance my brain work with an appropriate amount of physical exercise.
Like your half hour in the gym every morning.
Health is not a luxury, Jean. It is a citizen's duty. Which reminds me, that letter I was dictating, where had we got to?
To the editor of the Times, dear sir.
Yes, I know that.
Whether it be the Roman Catholic ritual of confession or the Manichaean practice of asceticism as a means of separating the elements of light and dark that are intermingled in the flesh of man, the light's gone on in Cannon's flat.
Good. Full stop. The implication of all these philosophies is that there exists as a tangible evil the exorcism of which is man's highest duty. You are getting this down, aren't you, Jean?
Oh, yes, sir, man's highest duty. The light's gone out again.
Light? What light?
In Cannon's flat.
Has it now. Full stop. That the full weight of this implication is not realized or is disregarded in current theological... no, strike that out, Jean. In current philosophical thinking.
Sir!
What is it now?
Mortimer's coming back. He looks rather flustered.
Yes, alone, too. I do believe he's lost Hilary for the second time tonight. Open the window, Jean.
Sir.
Well?
Well, there's nobody up there. The door was open and the flat deserted. Whoever was there left in a hurry.
But thought to switch off the lights. You didn't find anything?
Oh, yes, I found something all right. In the street outside the flat. You'd better come and have a look.
What a nasty thing to leave lying around.
Oh, my God.
There's nothing to be frightened of. He's quite dead. Roll him over, Mortimer, and let's have a look at him.
Jean, run and turn the headlights on. I can't see what I'm doing.
Yes, yes.
Can you help me lift him, Berry?
Yes, I've got his arm.
Now, careful you don't slip. My word, there's an awful lot of blood about.
This really is very like old times. Poor Jean turned quite pale.
I'm going to let him drop now. Now stand back, or you'll get blood on your suit.
Do you know who he is, Mortimer?
I've no idea.
I recognize him. This mess of blood and gristle is all that's left of a man called Albert Lenoir. Come on, Mortimer. We'd better get back to the car. I know some people who are going to be cross about this. Some American people. You see, somebody has had the temerity to murder an agent of the CIA.
No answer from that number, sir.
Keep trying.
Yes, sir.
You, what's your name?
Michael, Mr. Williams.
What are you doing?
Mr. Fernberg said I could have 5 minutes off.
Right, well, fetch me some coffee from the machine, black with sugar. How are they getting on in there?
She's still not saying anything.
All right, run along, son.
Still no answer, Mr. Williams.
Oh, scrub it. Try the next number on the list.
Universal General Hire. Yes. Yes, would you hold the line, please, caller? It's for Mr. Fernberg.
He's not taking any outside calls this morning.
I'm sorry, caller. Mr. Fernberg is in conference. Yes. Yes, I'll give him that message. Thank you.
Fernberg's been working on us since dawn. It's time we saw some results. Any luck with those photographs?
Yes, the night photos taken with an infrared camera, probably a nocta. We've made blow-ups of the prints. They're still drying out. When do you want them by?
Depends on what they turn out to be. For all we know, they may be unsaleable.
Your coffee, Mr. Williams.
Thanks, son.
Well, I wouldn't know whether they're saleable or not, but there are some nice ones of that girl.
Fernberg, you look like a man with problems.
She's flaked out again. My, that's some tough cookie you brought me, Williams.
You still haven't got anything out of her?
Not a peep. Well, I'm taking a 15-minute break. Coffee. That's an idea. Run to the machine and get me a coffee, Michael.
Yes, okay.
There's a good boy.
Sir.
Universal General Hire, good morning.
Well, your trouble is you're too soft. This place is getting more like a youth hostel every day.
What would you do, knock us senseless?
My methods get results.
Call for you, Mr. Fernberg.
I'm tired, Lita.
I'm sorry, caller. He'll be in conference all morning. Can I get a message?
Your methods stir up trouble.
Trouble's good for business.
My methods aren't so soft. I'm just more scientific than you, that's all.
Here's your coffee, Mr. Fernberg.
Thank you, my boy. Oh, I don't have any change. Can you help me out, Williams?
You'll never have any change, Fernberg. What do you do with all your commissions? Salted away in a numbered bank account in Zurich?
Would that be so stupid? Oh, here, boy.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Fernberg.
Go and relieve Booker. He's been on all night. He needs his beauty sleep.
Yes, sir.
Is that a wise move?
We have the straps on her. She's well anchored down. It doesn't need a toughy like Booker to keep the butterfly on the pin.
The photos have just come through from the lab.
Oh, let me look.
One of your numbers is answering, Mr. Williams.
Not before time. Put it through on this phone, will you?
Pretty good, these photos. This one's nice. Nice composition.
Yes, that's one of our blow-ups, in fact.
Good morning.
There's the original.
I see.
Oh. Yes.
Not bad, is it?
You have
Considering it was
very
probably taken in total darkness from about 300 yards, it cleans up nicely.
Well, now, we've come up with something else you might be interested in, and of course we're offering it to you first. Does the name Proctor mean anything to you? Peter Proctor. Yes, that's the one. We've made quite a find. A copy of his CIA dossier has unexpectedly come into our possession. Well, the price isn't up to me, you understand, but I don't think we'd let it go for much less than 10. Why, yes, ring me back by all means. I'll be here until lunch. All right. Till then. Bye.
10,000 was a trifle steep.
I was just fishing.
You should take a look at these photos. Something very interesting.
Oh, the girl and Mortimer on the bridge. That's funny.
Very.
So who took these photos?
Hardly Lenoir himself. Where would he have developed them?
He'd turn the camera straight over to his control for processing. He might never even see the photos. Well, who then?
Lenoir had just come out of Cannon's flats.
Cannon?
It's a possibility.
Fernberg, this sort of situation is full of potential, and I'm talking about money.
If Cannon really is playing both ends against the middle, yes. But before we sell the idea to Beresford, we have to be sure of our facts. He's not interested in our creative guesswork.
I'll get her to talk. Let me deal with her.
The way you dealt with Lenoir, that was uneconomical, Williams, uneconomical. Now, she'll talk to me. I'll make a little bet with you. I'm going back in there when I finish my coffee. And if there's no joy by 11 o'clock, I'll go to breakfast and you can have her. Poor kid. I hope she talks to me. I really hope so.
You're a bit young to smoke.
Shut up.
Rude. If you smoke, you'll only make your spots worse.
I told you to shut up.
Everyone else wants me to talk, and you tell me to shut up.
You talk to him when he comes back. With me, you shut up.
I'd rather talk to you. You could give me a cigarette.
You want one?
Oh, yes, please.
You want to drag on this?
I don't want to smoke your filthy cigarette. I might catch something.
What's so bloody funny?
Well, here I am, strapped into this posh piece of upholstery like some kind of ghastly joke astronaut, and even I can make you feel like a worm. No wonder you're the dog's body around here.
Why are you getting at me? I was just trying to be a bit nice to you.
All right, give us a cigarette.
Oh, I can't. They'll be back in a minute.
We'll hear them coming.
Oh, okay. And mind out the sentry don't see you, and if you try anything...
Well, there's not much I can do, is there, strapped down and padlocked like this?
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Lovely. Do you think you could do something about that light? It's hurting my eyes.
Well, that's what it's there for, isn't it?
Yes, but I can't see you properly.
What do you want to see me for?
Well, it's better than talking to thin air.
I can't shift the light. The sentry will want to know what's going on. I'm only supposed to be keeping an eye on you.
Where is the sentry?
There's a gallery runs round the top of this room. Sentry's up on the gallery.
Watching us?
Maybe. You sure you can't see me?
Sure.
You can see me, remember? Spotty face.
I was only guessing about the spots.
You weren't. You could see me.
I was guessing. How old are you?
Who wants to know?
I do.
Nearly 18.
Oh, I had terrible spots when I was 17.
You're a liar.
Really? Nobody would talk to me.
But you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, don't thank me. It's nothing to do with me. None of my business what you look like. I mean, I don't care, do I?
Your number's on the line now, Mr. Williams.
Oh, well, back to work.
Stay and listen to this, Fernberg. It might be interesting. Hello? Good morning. This is Williams of Universal General Hire. Yes, I'm in pretty good condition. And you? Oh, of course you are. You people believe in looking after yourselves. Now, look. We've got something here I know is going to interest you.
Oh, Mr. Fernberg.
Yes?
The gatehouse has just rung through. The service engineer for the copy machine is at the gate now. They want authorization to pass him through.
Of course. The copy machine must continue its education at all costs. Who's Williams talking to?
The CIA.
Really? How very reckless we're getting.
Gatehouse, you have clearance on that last
price, I can't definitely say until the job's been costed. But I can tell you I've been discussing this particular job over the phone with somebody you might know. No names mentioned. You'll ring me back in an hour. Fine. Looking forward to it. Goodbye.
You don't believe in the easy life, do you, Williams?
What are you getting at?
Trying to sell this stuff to the CIA.
Well, why not? The Americans pay the best prices.
Oh, you'll be able to retire in comfort.
Retire? Huh. I've a long way to go before I start thinking about that.
In your place, I'd start thinking about it right now. If the CIA know we've got that file, they can figure out who put down Lenoir. They'll come for you, Williams. And it won't be with a checkbook.
What are you doing here, anyway?
I don't know, Michael. Really?
No, I don't mean what are you doing here. I mean, what are you doing in this at all?
Just got roped in. Muggins.
You mean you're a dog's body and all?
Well, sort of. They promised to tell me about my father.
How do you mean?
Well, I thought he was dead and a traitor. Now they say he's alive.
Quick, give us a flag. Someone's coming.
Yeah, I better go first, will you? I've got this trolley here.
Trolley? What trolley? Oh, I'll better find out what he wants.
I won't go away.
Hold on.
It's this trolley, you see.
What are you talking about, a trolley?
Shh. Very quietly now. Very quietly and slowly and easily.
Yeah, look. Who the hell are you?
Close the door.
Yeah, but you haven't got a trolley.
It was a fib. It doesn't do to go crashing into strange rooms trying to stick them up like they do in the movies.
Who's that? Cannon.
Oh, I seem to have come at the bad time.
You've come at a lovely time, Cannon, and you're very welcome.
Oh, what's the opposition apart from this, thing?
Oh, this is Michael. And there's a guard up in the gallery.
All right, you. Take this.
It's a knife.
Catch. Now, keep your voice down, son.
Yeah, but look
Any
here.
loud noises around here, I'm going to make with this gun. Now, cut the straps off the lady.
Huh?
It's going to be a hard job, and it's going to keep you busy.
Yeah, but look.
And if I get even a glimmer of a suspicion that you're contemplating carving her up, I'll blow you wide open before you can say knife.
How in heaven's name did you get here, Cannon?
Followed you, basically.
But how did you get in?
Oh, I came here to fix the coffee machine, didn't I? You can get in most places with a van and a white coat. And they've got this coffee machine in the corridor outside the office park back there. I created a slight diversion. There's now a wide river of coffee flowing down the corridor and into the office. Off with the white coat, corridor fills with people. Excuse me, sorry, love, mind your backs. And here I am.
But what about the guard up there?
I'm staying out of the light. He can probably only see you. Oh, that's nice quick work on those straps, son. Mind you, it's a good knife. Now, don't get out of the chair yet, love. Here, you. I'll have that knife back if you don't mind.
Huh? His name's Michael.
Knife, please, Michael.
Wait, you want the knife?
Please.
What? That's asking for it.
You.
No.
That
No.
does it, Pimple.
No.
The gallery, look out!
Turn the lamp on him.
Okay.
Everybody stay where you are.
Where the hell is he? Try the other side of the gallery.
There he is.
Right. Got him. Now you, what's your rotten name?
Michael!
But he tried to knife me. How do we get out of here? Now talk to me, Sonny, or you'll be today's second unlucky contestant.
The ladder.
There's a ladder over there, going up to the gallery.
Up to the gallery, along the corridor.
All right, Hilary, love, let's not hang about. Go on. Ladies first, but hurry.
Which corridor?
What? Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Go on, this way.
Right. Now what? Up the stairs?
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
I thought this was a warehouse. It's more like a rabbit warren.
A very nasty breed of rabbit. We should be near the roof now. Along this corridor.
Yes. Look, there's a terrace at the end. We'll be able to get onto the roof.
It'd be nice to get a bit of fresh air. Hey, what's that?
It's a steel door.
Run like hell before it closes. Oh, damn and blast! So much for the terrace. Now, come on, girl. We better double back before they bottle us up.
Oh, I'm out of breath, Cannon. I can't breathe.
There's four of them on the stairs. Back into the corridor.
But there's no way out of here.
Oh, the roof ought to be just above us. Now, one of these windows. This one.
Oh, there's the front gate and the yard. The vans look like toys.
There isn't much to hang on to. I'll climb out onto the window ledge anyway.
You must be nuts.
Come on! There isn't time to argue the toss. Hang on to the gutter. But I wouldn't put too much weight on it if I were you. That's it. Brave girl. Now, once I've got this window shut. Yeah. Now we're vanished.
I don't feel very safe. My legs feel funny.
Terrifying, isn't it?
You're telling me.
So don't think about it. Think of the lovely warm bath you can have when you get back to my flat.
Cannon?
Yeah?
Tell me something, Cannon.
Anything.
Who are you working for?
At Beresford, aren't I?
Well, who else? I had a closer look at those photographs, the ones in your flat.
My art studies?
Yes, and I phoned Beresford while you were out getting the cigarettes.
What?
Well, when I saw what the photographs were, I figured Beresford had sent you out to keep tabs on me. I was furious. I rang him up to tell him.
I see. So Beresford knows?
Yes.
Oh, why don't I just push you over the edge?
A much more interesting question is, why did you bother to rescue me? Beresford obviously didn't send you.
Yes. I can see this is getting very complicated.
Some kind of explanation might help.
I can't explain, not now.
But I've got to know which side you're on, because you just might push me over the edge, and it's a long way.
Hey, hush up a minute. They're in the corridor.
What happens if somebody opens the window and looks out?
She gets a face full of my boot, and then we shoot our way out. Oh, they've gone past. Can you see what they're doing?
Well, they're standing in front of the steel door. 3 of them. 2 of them are going through.
What's the other one doing?
Well, he's standing by the door, looking this way.
Hey, look at that.
The sun.
I told you something would turn up. The sun's come out.
Oh, that's marvellous. What the hell's the good of that?
Well, it's a bit more cheerful anyway. Looks as if it's going to be a nice day after all. Hold on. What's that?
What's what?
I thought I heard something. Shut up a minute. You hear that noise?
Noise? Yes. Where's it coming from?
Up there. Look.
The sun's in my eyes. What is it?
Well, at a guess, I'd say a flying frog.
What?
But then again, it could be a UF-83. No, not with that engine. No, as you were, that's a flying frog.
It's a helicopter.
Sure.
Cannon, you're a genius. It's a helicopter. It is, isn't it? It's a real helicopter.
Oh, yes, it's real, all right.
And it's coming this way, you swine. You must have known all along somebody was coming to take us off.
Nobody I know.
What?
I didn't order it. Anyway, nobody knows I'm here. This rescue operation was strictly a one-man job.
Well, somebody's in that helicopter and they're making a beeline for us.
Well, then shut your eyes and pray, sweetheart. Pray that it's one of us. That's the trouble with this game. It never is.
Well, it doesn't look like much of a choice from here. Next time, we'll see which way they jump. This was episode 5 of The Joke About Hilary Spite by Christopher Bidmead, starring Angela Pleasance and Nigel Anthony. The executive producer of the Mystery Project is Bill Howell. Our coordinating producer is Barry Morgan. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening and inviting your comments. You can get some idea of what's to come by visiting our website at www.radio.cbc.ca/programs/mystery project. See you next week. Hi, gang. Bob Boving with you for the Mystery Project. And this time, I've got all the answers for you in The Joke About Hilary Spite. It's a precautionary tale about the problems of getting involved with strange men. That Hilary carries it to extremes only makes the object lesson sharper. She found that getting into things is easy. Getting out that can try a girl's capabilities. This is the final episode of Christopher Bidmead's suspense adventure about a girl who is very adept at getting out of her depth. Taken captive by a group of unnamed characters, Hilary has been rescued, or partially rescued, by Cannon. But the two are still trying to get out of the building through an upper window when they are spotted and become targets for gunfire. Well, that's where we left them last time. Now there comes the intervention in the form of a helicopter. Is this the step from the frying pan into the fire?
Somebody's in that helicopter and they're making a beeline for us.
Then shut your eyes and pray, sweetheart. Pray that it's one of us. That's the trouble with this game. It never is. I should be able to hit the pile from this range.
Put that gun away.
Well, what's the idea?
We need the helicopter, whoever's in it. Keep the gun out of sight and we might be able to use it later.
Dicey, but a good thought. All right, we'll try it. Hello, look at that, a ladder. That looks inviting. Do we accept the invitation?
If we don't grab it, we'll be blown off this ledge.
Yeah, there's quite a downdraft from those blades. Better take the ladder one at a time. You first, eh?
All right. Got it. But don't get left behind, will you? See you on board.
Yeah, save me a seat. Hey, get a move on, love. We've been spotted from down below.
Guard here.
Did you hear that? We're at the mug's end of the rifle range. I hope there's not going to be any unnecessary suffering. BSA 303, is it? And better than average shooting. They must be using... Oh! Steady. Forget it. Concentrate on the ladder. Right, let's get out of here. Nice ladder, lovely ladder. Where it really starts to hurt. Oh, what are we hanging around for? Let's get this chopper out of range. Please. Nicely. Flies through the air with the greatest of... Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, shut up, you bitch of a shoulder. You've got work to do. Oh, that's it. I'm stuck.
Cannon, did they hit you?
Yes, Mum. The nasty men hit me. Well, give us a hand then.
I can't reach you. Are you all right for the moment?
Swinging.
Hold on.
That's a good idea.
We're going to pull in the ladder.
It's no good, Berry. With the best will in the world, I simply can't eat this stuff. What is it anyway?
It's made out of chickpeas and lentils.
Well, I really don't have your stamina, Berry. I'd like just to crash down somewhere for about 8 hours. I've been up all night.
So have I.
Well, surely there's a health food place nearer to the office we could have gone to for this chickpea stuff, instead of coming all the way up to town.
Do you always have to be so infallibly graceless, Mortimer? I find the food here delicious. And being central, it serves as an excellent meeting place.
Oh, we're meeting somebody?
Yes.
Oh, you found Hilary? All those phone calls you were making this morning?
I found somebody who knows where she is.
Well, that's marvellous.
In fact, here he is now.
Who?
Move along the bench. Mortimer, make room for him.
Beresford, my dear old boy.
Fernberg, this is Mortimer.
Hello. Bodyguard. Heck, these tables are so small. This is some place you've chosen to meet at.
Food is very good, all organically grown. Have some.
I couldn't look a plate in the face. I've been up all night.
So have we all.
He looks at you, Mr. Mortimer. What? Now take a coffee, black.
Oh, it's self-service here, but Mortimer will see to it for you, won't you, Mortimer?
What?
Won't you?
Oh, right, huh?
How have things been since you left the department?
Oh, they were quiet for a while.
I imagined you'd have no complaints about that. Isn't that why you left us? We were all too rough for you.
That was some of it. Also, I wanted to have my own business with no political affiliations.
Yes, Universal General Hire. A thriving freelance business. We've been checking up on you ever since one of your vans tried to photograph our latest recruit. How did those photographs come out, by the way?
Not well.
And how's the girl herself? You have got her, haven't you?
I should be so indiscreet.
Well, if you're not prepared to tell me, why did you come?
I'm running a business. I thought maybe we could do a deal.
All right. You know what I want. What can I do for you?
I have a problem. My partner's been a little too enthusiastic. He's killed an American agent.
Lenoir, I know. Mortimer and I found the body.
Well, such a thing tends to reflect on the respectability of the firm.
In fact, you're frightened.
To strain our good relations with the CIA would be a pity.
It's a lot more serious than that, my dear Fernberg. When they find out, they'll eat you alive.
Right.
So, that's what you want from me, an alibi. And in exchange, you'll give me Hilary. Is that the deal?
I'm sorry, but no. To be honest, I can't give you the girl under any circumstances.
Then you're wasting my time.
Mr. Fernberg's coffee.
Thank you.
Get your coat, Mortimer. We're leaving.
No, wait, please. Beresford, putting business aside, as a friend, I need your help.
Then tell me everything you know about our girl, Hilary.
She was in our hands. Safe, not too badly treated. I mean, you understand these things. Beresford is a businessman. She was full of marketable information about your setup. It was a cinch. We had to nab her any chance we got.
All right, go on.
Well, somebody else got her. Somebody came in and took her away. Infiltration through the front, a helicopter on the roof, and gone.
Who, Fernberg?
I promise you, Beresford, I don't know. It was so smooth. Killed one guard only and away. I thought maybe you? No? Look, I had an idea. The girl is only a girl. She's gone. I'll get you another girl. I've lots of contacts. I can get you anybody you like. Then, I tell you what we do. We set it up that she gunned down Lenoir. Now, that won't be too hard. It'll figure out nicely. She's a maniac. It's self-defense. She guns him down and runs the hell away. Now, the CIA will buy that. Wouldn't you think so?
Offering them Hilary as a scapegoat? What a clever idea. Dear Fernberg, I should have warned you. That white stuff you've stirred so very thoroughly into your coffee isn't sugar. It's sea salt. I wouldn't drink it if I were you. It'll taste horrible.
The large terrace is necessary to accommodate our helicopter. Only a luxury hotel suite has such a terrace, which is a pity because luxury is wasted on us. As the sun is out, I thought we might stay here on the balcony while Esther bandages your friend's arm. I'd like a few words with you in private before we join them.
All right. Who's that man standing by the balustrade over there?
Oh, my second-in-command, Keradic. I'll introduce you to him later. Do you know who I am?
Maximilian, your first name. That's all.
My sources tell me you are an amateur, that you have no political allegiances. I wonder if that's true.
What if it isn't?
If it isn't true, I may have to kill you.
Thanks for the warning. I'm quite strong, you know, and you're an old man. Aren't you afraid I might kill you?
Keradic over there has you covered with his automatic pistol. He is an excellent shot. You see, I tell you frankly what the situation is, so I hope you'll be frank with me, too.
Sounds very friendly with Keradic pointing his gun at my back.
An old man should have an insurance policy. You must excuse the tenacity with which I cling to the ragged remnant of my life. When I was your age, I had no sense of this. I was carefree, a handsome young man. I lived in South America, a paradise for those with money. The eyes of youth are blinded by their own brightness. I didn't know, as I do now, that when one looks below the surface of a society, one sees giant forces at work, forces that a man may tap to carry him into the high places of power, forces that can destroy men as easily as one might tread down blades of grass.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
I am speaking of the late 1930s. You know what was happening in Europe at that time?
Hitler?
The dream of blood and iron was not confined to Germany. The seeds of that flower were scattered all over the globe and found fertile soil in strange places.
In South America?
In the South American country I am speaking of, yes, there sprang up among the European residents a branch of Hitler's youth movement. I was asked to join.
And did you?
It was a matter of honor.
I don't understand why you've told me this.
To watch you while you listened, to see if you had heard it before.
Putting me on trial. What's the verdict?
You baffle me. I still do not know. Come, Kerridick, we will go in now. I have had enough sunshine. I would like to offer our guests some wine, Esther, but we have none. No, don't ring for room service. We don't want to be disturbed by waiters. Perhaps you'd better go down to the restaurant and fetch it yourself.
Yes.
How is the arm, Canon?
Oh, she's made a lovely job of it. Haven't you, my little darling?
There is no bullet in it. It will heal quite well. I'll see to the wine.
I should warn you that Esther is primarily a soldier. She doesn't greatly take to endearments of that kind. Oh, please sit down, Hilary. These Chesterfields are, in fact, more comfortable than they look.
I can't say I really relish this modern-day court. It's so anonymous.
Its anonymity suits our purpose.
Which is what, exactly?
Oh, she's like this all the time. Questions.
Beresford calls it my intellectual curiosity.
Heaven help us. She's got a mouth as big as the Albert Hall. Look, dear, how do you know that he knows that you know Beresford?
It happens that I do. No harm is done. I know of Beresford's existence, and I know that you have been working for him, Hilary. I want to know more. That is why you are here.
You see, Canon, he can't make up his mind whether to kill me or not. Am I still on trial?
As evidence of my good faith, perhaps you would like to examine the contents of this envelope. Would you pass it to them, Kerridick? Take a look inside, Hilary. It won't explode in your face.
It's money.
£7,000 sterling. It was the fee that Universal General Hire wanted for the release of Hilary. That was what my helicopter was doing there. I was coming to collect you.
It's nice to feel wanted.
It depends who wants you and what for. For this kind of money, it has to be fishy. We're out of the batter and into the hot fat, my old love. Well, this time we really are leaving. You can keep your 7,000, Maximilian. This is one deal that fell through. Come on, Hilary, this way.
That door is locked at the moment.
Oh, really? But you're going to open it for us, aren't you? Because if not...
The gun's no good, Canon. Kerridick's got one as well.
Kerridick won't use his gun on you, Hilary. You are quite free to go when you like.
Free? Hilary, don't you understand who this lot are?
No, not really.
These are the people that killed Proctor.
Cannon is trying to mislead you, Hilary. We are not your enemies.
Deny you killed Proctor. You, Kerridick, or whatever your name is. Doesn't he ever say anything?
He doesn't speak English.
Will you tell her then? Kerridick killed Proctor, didn't he?
Well, did he?
On my orders, yes.
You see?
But Proctor was a double agent, Hilary.
Yes, that's right. Canon, don't you see? They killed Proctor not because he was working for Beresford, but because he was an agent of the Cross of Light. He was a Nazi.
So?
What do you mean?
Cannon is a double agent too, Hilary. He's not really working for Beresford.
I knew that. But you don't mean that... Oh, my God. I didn't realize that...
Well, you know now, sweetheart. Proctor wasn't the only one working for the Cross of Light.
You, Canon?
No, my old darling, you!
Thank you, Canon. I am convinced.
Oh, thank God for that. It's all right, Hilary. You just saved your life.
I don't understand.
You see, Maximilian, she doesn't know. She really doesn't.
I believe that now. Will you tell her, or shall I?
Okay, I'll tell her. This is going to be a shock, Hilary. You see, for all your staggering IQ, wily old Beresford has been running rings round you. He's conned you rotten. That organisation of his, that is the Cross of Light.
All right, Jean. Mortimer and I will be there in 5 minutes. You might as well go to lunch now. Goodbye. In fact, I think you'd better have the afternoon off. Why do you dawdle so, Mortimer? You drive this thing as though it were a perambulator on the promenade.
Sorry, Berry. The Rose is rather intimidating after the Mini. I say, do you think I could possibly have the afternoon off too? I really am absolutely shattered.
Sorry to disappoint you, Mortimer, but you've got a report to write.
Have I?
I want to close the file on Hilary, just for the record.
So you've decided to do that deal with Universal General?
Yes, it's the best way. They're offering us all their facilities to find out who killed Proctor. We don't need the girl anymore. In any case, she's done her job. She got the Proctor file.
Oh, yes, the file. What happened to it?
I suspect Fernberg has it. And you can guess what's in it. If he sells it elsewhere, we're blown.
So it's probably easier in the long run to play along with Fernberg.
That's what you call realpolitik, Mortimer. Which reminds me, I wonder if Jean has remembered to type out my letter to the Times.
That scene we played was my idea. These people had to be convinced that you weren't in with Beresford for real.
But why didn't you tell me before about Beresford's organisation?
Because you had me bothered as well. I was doing this very dicey bit of doubling. I'd been for 3 years. Getting all the gen on that Cross of Light set up so we could blow it good and proper. Well, it's no good yanking the weed out by the stalk. You've got to dig it up, roots and all. And Beresford was onto me. When you turned up, I thought maybe you were being planted on me to flush me out.
The innocence of youth. I made the same mistake myself when I was young. I joined the Nazi youth movement. I learnt the hard way the evil that lies in that kind of madness. But today there are many who still believe in the dream of blood and iron. To defend humanity from such as Beresford, that is my act of contrition.
So, what becomes of this 7,000 nicker we've just saved you? We don't get to keep it by any happy chance.
I have gained nothing for the money so far.
I don't get you.
Decorative as Hilary is, the money was for information. Information I don't yet have.
What do you want to know?
They only want me to hand over gen that's taken me 3 years of delicate grafting to acquire.
But it would be friendly to share what you know.
Oh, I agree. But that information is not my property. It belongs to Her Majesty's government. They clobber me with every paragraph of the Official Secrets Act if I passed any of this stuff on to you.
Yes, I see. And I won't pretend I'm not disappointed.
But, of course, Hilary will be able to tell you most of what you want to know. The poor old darling hasn't got a bean. I don't suppose she'd mind treading on my toes for £7,000. Would you, Hilary?
A delicate and typically British compromise. I can see no objection to that. All right, I will put the envelope on the table. The first thing I would like to know is where I can contact this gentleman, Mr. Beresford.
Oh, why don't we just take them there, Canon?
Yes. I tell you what. We'll pick up the rolls when we get there, and then I'll take you to lunch. I don't think Maximilian and Co. will want us hanging round while they're actually working.
Come along, Mortimer. Get your coat off. We've got work to do. I want that report.
Well, wouldn't it be best to wait till Jean comes back from lunch? I mean, I could dictate it to her.
No, use her typewriter. Oh, good. She's done my letter to the Times.
Yes, but I don't type awfully well.
Dear sir, I must take issue with your correspondent whose views... You type it neatly. To be something to keep you busy.
Oh, very well.
On what he describes as liberalization, disgraced your columns on Wednesday last. All the major religions of the world embrace in one form or another the idea of spiritual attainment through a process of purification. Whether it be the Roman Catholic ritual of confession or the Manichaean practice of asceticism as a means of separating the elements of light and dark that are intermingled in the flesh of man. The implication of all these philosophies is that there exists a tangible evil, the exorcism of which is man's highest duty. The full weight of this implication is not realized or is disregarded in current philosophical thinking. Civilization, if it is to continue to exist at all, must begin to practice now what it has always preached. It must excise dispassionately but ruthlessly, using any means at its disposal, the creeping cancer... How long have you been standing there, Mortimer? What do you mean? Who are these people?
They both have guns, Betty.
He just walked in.
Who are you? What do you want?
My name is Esther, and this is Kenedick. But names do not matter. You know who we are and what we want. Mr. Beresford, Mr. Mortimer, look well upon our faces. I hope you see no malice there, no revenge even. We do what we do because it is necessary. In your own words, Mr. Beresford, dispassionately but ruthlessly, using the means at our disposal. Sign the letter, Mr. Beresford.
You won't get away with this.
Clichés, inept, Mortimer. Arnold, Sebastian, Beresford. These people are professionals. They'll get away with it. Of course they will.
2 coffees and the bill, please.
Very good, sir.
Oh, how are you feeling now?
Better. I'm sorry I broke down. I'm not a squeamish person. But the idea of cold-blooded execution and... Well, here I am with £7,000 for telling them where to find him.
Oh, they'll be humane, which is more than Beresford was. I've got quite a list of inconvenient people Beresford has disposed of during the 3 years I was there. And it looked as if I was going to be next, so I'm not sorry.
Will killing him really achieve anything?
For a bit, yes. The organisation will reform, of course. Somebody will set the nasty little wheels turning again, but it'll take time. It's a bit like influenza. You can't stamp it out, but you've got to keep trying.
You're nice, Canon. I like you.
Thank you very much. You've changed a lot, you know. You were a sulky old cow when I first met you. And if it's not too much of a backhanded compliment, may I say that I think that makeup does great things for you.
Oh, thank you. Years since I've put any on.
Where'd you get it, anyway?
Oh, I bummed it off a girl I met in the ladies.
In my honour?
No. Yes. Oh, I don't know. Canon?
Well, you look serious. You're not going to suddenly propose to me, are you?
Don't be stupid. Canon, if my father really was an agent with your
Yes,
people...
he was. Beresford lied about him being alive, but the other part of it, that was true.
Then how did Beresford get hold of all that stuff about my father? There were top-secret documents about him in the file Beresford showed me.
That's the snag. That's what we're really up against. See, a man like Beresford tends to have friends in official places. I've collected a few names, but it'll be difficult to pin anything on them. And there are always the others. Oh, never mind. Cheer up. Hey, let's go for a drive and forget about all this.
If they've taken care of Beresford, do you think it's a good idea to be driving around in his Rolls? I mean, shouldn't we ditch it?
Well, I'm supposed to be the man's chauffeur, after all. If I'm out driving my girlfriend around in the firm's car, that gives me an alibi. It really would look dodgy if we dumped it.
Yes, of course. My mind's completely stopped working.
It suits you. It's more feminine to be just that little bit dense.
Thanks very much. Actually, it's because I'm dead tired.
Well, if you will, spend your time dancing in all-night discos with old what's-it. Obviously, you're going to be completely fagged out. Here, I say, I got the jolly old rails outside. Why don't we go for a spin?
No strings?
No knots.
That's what you said last time. And look what happened. But I think things went wrong for me long before that. We were always moving from place to place, and poor old Mother was in a terrible mess. I just got out of the habit of talking to people, I suppose, and then later on, after Father died, nothing seemed to have any point. When I first started jumping off bridges, it wasn't because I wanted to kill myself especially. I just wanted to make something happen. I've been talking for ages. Poor Canon. You must be bored stiff.
But you don't feel like that anymore?
No. I feel like a new person.
So you don't think you feel suicidal anymore?
Oh, let's forget all about that, Canon. Let's pretend that we're back where we were on the day we first met. You've picked me up, and here we are, going for a ride. No strings and no knots. Let's forget all those nasty knots.
What knots?
Beresford and everything.
Beresford? Never heard of him.
And that file he had on me. You know, he had everything about me in that file.
No, don't think about it.
Must have taken him years to compile. That's something I really can't understand. Why me? He didn't really have any connection with my father, so what made him pick me as his victim?
Well, I don't know if I ought to tell you.
Why? It's all over now, isn't it?
Well, in this business, when you use a device specially for a particular mission, once the mission is completed, the device sometimes becomes an embarrassment. So, to help you dump it, the designing wizards will often incorporate in the device some means of destruction. And, of course, there would have to be some horrible American word for it. It's called auto-destruct. They once gave me an auto-destruct camera, made out of special plastic, even the lens. It was brittle stuff, this plastic, so that when you'd taken your pictures, all you had to do to get rid of the camera was just chuck it very hard against a brick wall. Just turn to powder.
I see. And Beresford figured I was like that.
He wouldn't even have had to throw you against a brick wall. Wormold had told him that as soon as the mission was over and you'd found out the truth about your father, you'd try to do yourself in again. And this time they were going to leave you to it.
Yes. I can see that would appeal to Beresford's sense of economy.
But it seems he made a miscalculation.
Oh, Canon, I can't begin to tell you how far away from all that I feel now. I want to drive and drive until the sun goes down, and then I want us to get ecstatically, dramatically drunk. Does that sound terribly shocking?
No. Sounds great. Pity we can't.
Why can't we?
Well, I have to go back and talk to some people, write a lot of reports.
I thought we were going to forget all that.
You forget it. It's not your life. But I can't forget it. I'm paid to remember every little detail.
It's all such a filthy business.
That's true enough.
Whichever side you're on. Why don't we just go away and never come back?
No. Thanks all the same.
I'm going to go. You come too. Please come.
For pity's sake, don't go on about it. It's difficult enough as it is. Look, if it was up to me, of course I would, like a shot. But as it is, there's no decision to make.
Yes, I see. I'm sorry. Where are we?
We're just outside Guildford. I suppose we better start getting back.
Will you drop me here, Canon? I'll get a lift.
Where to?
Oh, somewhere interesting. Don't look at me like that. I'll take care of myself. I promise.
You're a bloody marvellous girl. They'll want a full description of you when I get back. She was a bloody marvellous girl, I'll say. No, that won't do. Now, let's have a look at you, then. Colour of eyes, hazel. Hair, copper red. Pale complexion.
I don't suppose I'll see you again.
Oh, it might happen. I'll get around in this job.
It's a lovely afternoon. Look at the sun. Poor trees, they look very bleak without their leaves. Goodbye, Canon.
Take care. Mole on the left cheek. Height, approximately 5'8". Distinguishing characteristic, a bloody marvellous girl. Goodbye, love. Be good.
And that completes The Joke About Hilary Spite. And it turns out she had the last laugh after all. The series was written by Christopher Bidmead. Angela Pleasance starred as Hilary, with Nigel Anthony as Canon. Rolf Lefevre was Beresford. Hilda Kreisman was Jean. Dinsdale Landon was Mortimer. And Harold Casket was Maximilian. The programs were produced by John Tidyman at the BBC in London. The executive producer of the Mystery Project is Bill Howell. Our coordinating producer is Barry Morgan. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening and inviting your comments. See you next week.